Whoa! It's me. I'm here. Is the camera on? Nope, it's not. Okay, we're doing this every stream time, apparently. How do I fix this? every time I go in and I do a specific thing, it's, let's look at like this, and then switch this stuff around, and then maybe it'll come back on. Hi! Okay. It's so strange, because it's always working when I first open it up, and I'm like, hey, look, it's me, hi. And then I switch over to the bugs, and then when I come back around, it's bugging out on me. Puns! Anyway, what's up, everyone? I am in need of a wash of my hair. My hair is a little bit crazy, so it's just gonna be up today. Hopefully that's alright with everybody. Yeah, the music. So, the music, I have like 25 songs or so that I sort of rotate between. So if it's one that you haven't heard in a while, it's just because I haven't used it in a while. Or maybe you were not around the last time I used it. I don't know. But yeah, there's like 25 songs or so that I got from the free library. Thank you. What's up, Gayfesh? Hello. Vosh is starting his stream too. Yeah. He's got like a mostly different audience. Mostly on account of the fact that there's way more of them. So, anyway, what's up, Uncomfy? There's Mersh. Andy's Mints. Hello. I was watching Vosh till you pinged. Haha! So, not everybody thinks that he's the cool guy. Alright, sometimes you want to be over here with the T and the Q. We're here for the T and the Q, not just the Q. What's up, mama? So I'm realizing now that I've started to talk, having previously basically not been talking today, that actually my throat is quite sore. So, it's gonna be a fun time. But, so I'm enthused about it being the end of this year and about to be the beginning of the next year. I got in the queue for some tea. Are y'all making tea? I'm still working my way through my coffee. I really did try to like tea. I did my absolute best. And you don't do pre-show warm-ups. I really don't think about it. Like, I don't think about it very much. And it's usually not as big of a deal, because on a Wednesday, I will have already been talking throughout the day, like by the time it's 4 p.m. But it's so early in the day here, and we all kind of generally prefer like a quiet moment in the morning, so I'm not really like doing a ton of conversing. I try to do vocal warm-ups, but sometimes I go, oh wait, I forgot, when it's like 15 seconds before I go live, so I'll quickly run through them in like 5 seconds. I guess I just always figure I'll pick up. Like, the first part of my stream is a warm-up anyway, basically, so... But probably I should do some thoughtful vocal warm-up stuff beforehand. Because, like, you know, Mama Mephistopheles comes in here, and I always trip up over that name. Like, she's always here in the beginning of the stream, and every time I'm like, what's up? I have to, like, Mama Mephistopheles, you know? It's a lot of effort. But anyway, so yes, we have our decaf coffee. I just finished my coffee. Should I make a hot cocoa? Hot cocoa is the best. It's, you know, is it even... I feel like it hasn't really been cold enough, for long enough at least, for me to want, like, the hot cocoa. I made wassail or whatever a couple weeks ago, and I keep wanting to do it again, but it's like, you just need it to feel wintry, and it just kind of doesn't feel very wintry. Yeah, doing the usual, the lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue, red leather, yellow leather, and unique New York. The classics. The absolute classics. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Yeah, Mama's name is a vocal warm-up by itself. Yeah, I'll get myself warmed up in the first 5 to 10 minutes of stream. The atmospheric music is good. Yeah, I basically just want the vibes before the show to be, you know, just prepare to relax, prepare to chill. We're here to have a good time. By the way, hit the like button if you're here to have a good time. You know, we do have a couple of political things to talk about today, but I do think for the most part, I enjoy these sort of looser, less structured streams, and I've got a lot of stuff going on in my mind, so that's, you know, you just get to listen to me talk about literally whatever it is that I am thinking about on a given day. And you're here, so I'm assuming that that's what you want. The woodchuck one isn't even a tongue twister. Not really, no. She Sells Seashells by the Seashore used to trip me up, but it doesn't anymore because I just basically have it like memorized. I hope this is the last stream of the year to hit 69 likes. True. 69 likes. Can we get there? Yes, Mackenzie says that's why we're here. Ready for the unstructured thoughts. Prepare yourselves. Do you all have or do resolutions? I don't really want to be the kind of person who does resolutions. I mean, I don't actively not want to, but I end up just kind of being like, hey, you know, the planner that I bought a few months ago, it starts out and it has like, the first few months are only like this because I decided to buy a planner in October. So I got the first few months are just the October and November, December, just the whole month. And then when we move into January, my planner is suddenly going to have like the whole detailed week. And it's like the winter time and I'm ready for thinking about what it's like, I'm going to have a community garden plot, hopefully this year. I'm going to try to rent a community garden plot. And so it's January, or about to be January, and I'm thinking, okay, well, are there any seeds that I should start inside in preparation for that happening later? Which means that I have stuff to learn about how to get seeds to propagate indoors. Because there's some plants, like, that just have a long growing season, basically, and so it's better to start them inside, keep them warm, give them all the stuff that they need, and then, gradually putting them outside. I'm thinking instead of a resolution, keeping a theme like health, patience, fun, service, etc. Yeah, so keeping in mind, your resolutions can be things that are just fun. You could have a resolution to try as many different shapes of pasta as possible over the course of the year, or something like that. That's a post that I've seen going around on Facebook. Like people go, oh wait, I want to do that. Like, yeah, you forgot that New Year's resolutions could be fun. A lot of people do the New Year's resolution of, I'm gonna go to the gym or whatever. I really would like to do cardio, but it's really difficult to do cardio over the winter if you're not going to the gym. So I'm not really sure how to incorporate that, but I already was going to the gym, so I don't need to have like a fitness goal in that regard. Althea says, next year will be the year I finally get on HRT. You can do it. I believe in you. I trust in the power of your will. I was at a Panera Bread yesterday and they wanted to charge me $8 for small hot chocolate and an M&M cookie. Too poor for California. Oh, God. I think lots of places are expensive. So Panera has always been stupid expensive. And then everything is just gradually getting more and more and more expensive anyway. Cardio can be spicy for PCOS if you go too intense. Yeah, I know. That's why I have to ease into it. But also, if people who do cardio have a lower resting heart rate because it makes your heart stronger, right? So it's like cardio is recommended for people with POTS if you do it in certain ways that prevent you from overextending yourself, or it's recommended. Sorry, I really actually would like to do a segment about POTS sometime, maybe even today, because a lot of people are developing it as a post-COVID complication. And so I kind of feel if I were to make a video and title it something like, why is my heartbeat so fast all the time now? Something like that, because I do wonder how many folks out there suddenly have this condition and are going OMG, I can't go up the stairs without hyperventilating. What's wrong with me? Am I going to die? I think that people, and it's manageable if you just know how to manage it. So I've been considering talking about it and being like, here's the symptoms. Here are some things you can do to counteract that. I like going on long walks at a fast pace, and doing that long-term lowered me and my mom's resting heart rates. Yeah, so that's what I mean. I just want to do, at the gym, they have some of the bikes. I've thought about doing the bikes at the gym. But you can also just do, yeah, a pretty quick paced walk for like a few hours a week. Not anything crazy. I'm starting the first actual steps to surgically transition this year, says Avi in the YouTube chat. Also, this is finally the year where I'm legally gonna change my name and sex marker. High five, yo. I just got out of guanfacine. Guanfacine? I don't know what that means. I just got off guanfacine? I don't know what that means. I do my hikes like that, faster than the other walkers, but slower than the runners. You know, it's a good moderate amount of cardio. So I want to double my garden this year, so I'm thinking about starting some indoor seeds. Yeah, absolutely, Mackenzie. I'm so glad that there are other gardeners in the chat. So far, I've tried to grow tomato, and then the squirrels ate it. And I recently purchased a mint plant, but it came with, I think, aphids, and I just don't fucking feel like fighting off aphids. So I'm gonna let that plant die. But yeah, I want to start stuff from seed and do an actual sort of a trial run at the community garden this year. We're gonna move next year probably, so it's just gonna be the 1 year. So I'm not gonna plant carrots because carrots are kind of biennial, which means that they don't really provide you with the full vegetable until the second year. So yeah, that's a fun fact to learn. If you guys were gonna start a garden, what would you grow? Like, or here's another question: what do you think tastes the best when it's homegrown versus bought in the store? I'm thinking I will probably have enough room to plant like 7 different things. Hey, there's like 20 likes in here right now. Hit the like button so that we can get more people in here talking about the fun stuff. Berries, I think berry bushes tend to be quite persistent. You want tomatoes? Yeah, okay, so tomatoes are a given. I'm gonna do at least cherry tomatoes. If not, maybe I'll do cherry tomatoes and a larger variety, or I don't know, maybe I should just pick one or the other. But I know tomatoes, right? Also, basil is a good companion to grow with tomato, not only because their flavors go together, but also they're good soil companions. Christmas monies, heading to the merch store. Yes, absolutely. Have fun with that on Comfy. I guess I still feel like I want to not spend money on the hoodie, but I want to buy myself a hoodie off of my merch store. Bell peppers are good homegrown if you have good soil. Bell peppers, yeah, I was thinking bell peppers would be a good idea too. Beans and corn are good crop companions, right? So you can do the Three Sisters, and I'm thinking I don't know if I want to do that because we don't really eat squash that much. So I don't want to grow something and then be like, meh, I don't really know what to do with this. And like corn, I'm not like in love with the idea of growing corn, although I do want to grow beans. So it's like, okay, do I plant the beans with corn, or do I just give it do I just give it a trellis? I like to grow painted beans and butter beans when I get a chance. Those sound yummy. Yeah, the corn kid. In Germany, we've got huge raspberry bushes. This year, we had around 13 kilograms from around 15 square meters. Raspberries and blackberries will spread just violently. It's like mint, you know, you have to be careful, even if you have it in a pot, because they'll grow sideways and then down into the ground. You could always sell / give away the corn. That's true. I could get, how do you do that? If you have food that you grow, what do you just take it on Facebook Marketplace? Strawberries. They're still selling strawberries, but I thought they aren't in season. Well, they could be shipped from out of state or whatever, but also there are greenhouses. So I would love to have a greenhouse. Local farmers market. don't you have to pay in order to sell at a farmer's market? Like, wouldn't you need to rent a little spot? I have no idea how much that costs. I've never done that. Corn freezes nicely in my experience. True. Mersh says, I have problem blackberry bushes. They are nice for making cobbler, but they attract bears, etc. Bears love blackberries. I mean, it's if as long as you don't go outside, it's a great security measure. Oh gosh. So I have escalated slightly in my homesteading interests in that I am actually looking at land in the places where I'm thinking about possibly moving to try to get an idea of like what sort of land would be available. And there was one that sort of advertised itself as having a shit ton of bears on the land. I think for hunting purposes. Some of these lands are like, this is recreational only. You're not meant to build a house here. So hey, come up here and hunt these elk or whatever. Can we get silicone bracelets in the merch store, please? I don't know if that's an option on the thing. Like the website that I host my store on has a set, like there's, you purchase the stuff through them essentially. So they only host certain items in the store, and I don't know if they do silicone bracelets, but I can always check. I should talk to you about the commune some of our community is working on. It will be in Washington. That's fascinating. I would like to hear more about it. I don't know if it's going to be Washington, because here's my thing, okay? When you all are thinking about, oh, I live in a transphobic state and I want to move out of it, here's another thing that I think you should be keeping in mind. So you're going to look at Erin Reed's legislative map, of course. You're going to look at her map and go, well, here are the states that are safe for trans people to be. And that's going to be one of the things that guides your decision, right? Here's the other thing that should be influencing your decision. It is... Can we zoom in? Yes. The other thing that you should be taking into consideration is that there are these maps of where are the... Here, I don't know how well you can see this. It's a little bit crunchy. Most suitable zone by temperature and precipitation is like this blob here, and then this is a blob here, and then this is like a blob, a couple of blobs over here that indicate most suitable zone by temperature and precipitation for people to live and grow food in the present day. And as we continue on, in 2070, the suitable zone is going to creep upward, right? And there it's going to creep even further upward. All right, so this is the other map that you should know about, and it's going to be, this is the number of weeks per year above 95 degrees Fahrenheit. So in the deepest red, we have 26 weeks per year above 95 degrees Fahrenheit. And then down here is like, 258. So average temperatures between 2040 and 2060 is what the time frame for this one is. And then, okay, so if we were to guess days with high wet bulb temperatures, and so wet bulb temperatures means you've got like not just the heat, but also the humidity together makes it so where when your body is overheating, you try to sweat. But if the humidity in the air is too high, then you sweating doesn't cool you at all. And so this is, the worst wet bulb temperatures down here. If we were to look at here, moderate emissions, but if we were to guess high emissions, these are going to be some areas that are less hospitable because of the humidity. Wildfires. The likelihood of large wildfires between 2040 and 2071 going to be highest in these areas, of course. Average number of very large fires per year from 0.01 up to 2.45. So these are maps that you should care about. Oh, and here's another one. Sea level rise between 2040 and 2060. So not only do you have to be thinking, oh, where am I going to move? Like, oh, a lot of this area, if you noticed earlier, was like, oh, pretty, like, for example, Seattle. Like, Seattle is going to stay pretty hospitable. This little area right here, it shows up here, this little area. Look at that. It's not going to be that hot there. And, oh, look, it's not going to be too bad with the wet bulb temperatures in Seattle. And nah, it's not even going to be too bad with the, what is this? This is wildfires. It's not even going to be too bad with the wildfires, especially if you live on the west side over here this way. But then you look at the sea level rise. It's like, ah, shit. There's going to be a decent percentage of property below the high tide line in this little crevasse of Seattle-Tacoma area. So, yeah. Oh, and then the crop yields, of course. It would be ideal if you know, it's interesting how the climate change stuff, it's like, okay, obviously these purple areas are going to have a dramatically reduced ability to support any crop growth, but then these places further north are going to become more and more and more fertile. So we're going to see like a lot of the agriculture industry down here just having to shift upward. And so you'll see more agricultural development up here, which I guess is probably going to be fine because, I mean, it's fucking North and South Dakota and like northern Minnesota. It's not like there's a lot going on up there, you know, just like develop the land. But yeah, these are the things on my mind lately. I love this. Every map, for the most part, our area is ballin'. Yeah, where are you? Like Pennsylvania? What is this? Economic damages from climate. From growth on the left side to degrowth on the right side, I guess. Economic damage. Pennsylvania's fine. Anyway, is there another one? So, yeah, those are the things that I've been looking at to kind of get a gauge of where I'm going to go. So, you know, there are some places in Washington, particularly up in, like, at the tops of the mountains that are going to be both still climate controlled and above sea level. So, that's, you know, and there was some, I was like, look, I'm like literally looking for land for sale, and there was some. What's the website URL for this? It's from ProPublica. I'll just copy and paste it for you. There you go. Pittsburgh is extremely queer. Friends I have from Portland say it reminds them so much of Portland. Nice. Yeah. I kind of like, first of all, I like the idea of living in the mountains. And, like, I guess you have them in Pennsylvania, right? You have the Appalachians over there. The Appalachians are, like, pretty intense. I'm also more concerned with if we will still be burning fossil fuels or using electric smog, a combination of both or neither things. The Appalachians are foothills compared to the mountains in the western US. Yeah, I mean, I think I've been to Tennessee before one time, and it was definitely left less of an impression than the times that I've been to Colorado. Considered mountainous as opposed to mountained regions. Nice. I would go to the Northwest because I have family up there myself. Yeah. I'm looking sort of throughout like Oregon and Washington at this point because there's a lots of places over there that are going to be potentially good. And yeah, look forward to this becoming a channel about my chickens and and various gardening bullshit. I guess that can start this year. I can start doing gardening shit this year. Maybe I'll have to do that on the second channel. I started the second channel, by the way. I changed the name of it. It's called Luxander 2, just the number 2, Luxander 2. And I haven't uploaded anything yet, but I'm editing some stuff that I'm preparing to put up on that channel. If in a couple years you are making Hassan levels of money, would you ever consider other countries? Part of the idea is to concentrate the number of queer people into a smaller area, and so that's part of why I want to go to the Northwest, is because, you know, Portland, Seattle, there's already so many queer people there. And I feel like if we can just get more queer people in the rural areas up there, because that is kind of what I'm looking at. I'm not really looking at moving to the city. I don't really want to live near the airports. Like, I don't, you know, I don't think near the city you're gonna have as good of resources as far as the land goes, and also I don't want to be crammed up against a bunch of strangers. Um, because you know, if things get weirder politically, then I don't necessarily want it to be easy to access my property, you know? So I love my mountain on a clear day so long as trees and clouds aren't blocking it. Mount Rainier is prominently visible from so many places. It seems like it would be gorgeous. I've never been there, but I really need to go. We should just get all the gay rays and start gaying all the rednecks. I know. We gotta go and create more gay people, which is our God-given mission on this earth. Pittsburgh is a good happy medium for cheap rent and queer-friendly. The real mountains are an hour east around Connellsville or Johnston. Nice. Johnstown? Gorgeous. Yeah, queer leftist gardening channel confirmed. I used to live in Washington. Mount Rainier is so gorgeous. That's a reason I want to return there, is because it's so freaking beautiful. Yeah, I'm definitely not knocking Pennsylvania. It's just not where I want to live. Like, I just don't want to live there. But I think it's super cool that you guys are bringing in more resources, like more um, queer people and stuff, like creating more community there. Because it's, not everybody has the resources to move all the way to fucking Oregon. Um, yeah. Are Appalachian Mountains appearing blue because of moisture? I don't know. Yeah, maybe it is something to do with the grasses there. We mostly depend on cishet people to create more of us. No, no, we convert them. Come on, you know how it goes. Later, uncomfy. Yes, happy New Year. So yeah, my basically like plans for the new year involve becoming a gardener. The cis bis are doing some of that work too. My immediate thought, Gayfesh, was like, there are trans people who reproduce also, like whether they're in gay or straight relationships. I don't know, There's like T for T straight people who have reproduced, and there's like cis guy with trans guy gay couples who reproduce, and the bisexuals also be doing it too. We could just keep some straights locked up in pens as breeding stock and queer everyone else. It's not necessary to do that. All you need is trans people. Oh god. They do advocate for taking away our kids now. So oh, excuse me. Yes, true. Oh man, the giant water bottle has made its debut back on the channel. I wasn't using it for a while because I just kind of refused to clean it for a bit, and now it's clean again, and I'm so excited. Shameless plug for the Rainbow Passage. What is going on with Rainbow Passage right now? Just a cute little New Year's message. Have a gay New Year. May you be your authentic and happy self in 2024. Absolutely. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Good sentiments. They can have my kids since my kids are just swimmers. Free orchiectomy. Life hack. Oh, goodness. Can we make friends with the local orcas and crows for sure? You got to be careful with the local orcas, okay? Because you never know when one of them's going to be a double agent. They do have a tendency to be a little bit shifty. Because they're smart. They're so smart. They think that they can outsmart you, and then usually they're right. I mean, if we're being honest. Democrat might be... Well, yeah, can you not... you can register as independent. You should be able to. The Blue Ridge Mountains look blue due to gases being released by the vegetation. Hi. Orcas are... Yeah, orcas are anti-capitalist. They should be the new... Are orcas the new, like, mascot of anti-capitalism? Hello, kitty tick. There is no documented case of orcas attacking humans in the wild. Boats, on the other hand, I think, doesn't that reveal that they don't really understand who is responsible? Or, I guess, like, if they were to attack a boat, and then the people were to fall off the boat, do they then also leave the people alone? It's like... I just don't know. Is there an implication that they don't understand that it's human beings behind the actions? It's only been in the Mediterranean area. It's probably only one pod doing it. Because the behavior... I'm assuming that something personal happened. Like one of their guys was injured or killed by a boat. And then they were like, well, we're going to start harassing these boats. And, you know, the behavior wouldn't necessarily spread. If someone started a radical environmentalist group doing the whole how to blow up a pipeline thing, then the symbol would be orcas. And they would wear black and white. That's true. It is one main pod, but they have spread the behavior to others. No! The trend spread, but not that far. Is this going to become a global problem? A global catastrophe? Are they going to continue spreading? Because they live for a long time, right? Orcas, if I'm not wrong, don't they live like 30 plus years? How long? How to wait. 50 to 90 years. Okay, in the wild. In the wild, male orcas live an average of 30 years, 46 for females. But the maximum in captivity would be like 50 to 60 years for the males and 80 to 90 years for the females. Cool. I've heard of large lizards being hit by a car and surviving, and going up to the car and biting the tires, completely ignoring the people who are driving the car. Probably a similar thing with the orcas. They don't understand the humans are operating these vehicles. I mean, the thing is that orcas are highly intelligent beings. I just don't know if they understand the concept of a vehicle. I'm making tacos. Anybody want one? What kind of tacos are you making? I love tacos. I haven't had them in a while. Don't really eat Mexican food very much. I cook a lot, so that's part of why I don't eat Mexican food very much. I join in here, orcas and lizards. Listen, on my show, we talk about all kinds of stuff. We talk about the environment. We talk about ecology. We talk about how to survive the impending climate catastrophes. And other trans politics related stuff. So often do we talk about non-trans related political issues that's a big part of what's going on the side channel. Like, we talk about trans stuff, we talk about the election and all that shit on my main channel, but when we talk about, yeah, like animals, climate change kind of stuff, maybe, like ecology, that's gonna go on the other channel. Ursa says a close friend of mine just gave me a bunch of her clothes, including my first dress. Best gift ever. That's awesome. Like, what a great thing to get on New Year's. Orcas are very smart. They're probably smarter than us, but just being smart doesn't necessarily give you contextual knowledge. Yeah, I completely agree. That's sort of what I was trying to hint toward is, yeah, the entire concept of a vehicle, like of something that you built, that you piloted. Like, I don't think that they would completely get that. Talking about that real shit. I learned from Lux, and therefore my TikTok is just me talking about whatever the fuck I feel like. I feel like on TikTok especially, even when people follow you, it's just that your stuff is going to show up more often in their For You page or whatever. Maybe that's the case. It works the opposite way on Facebook, but it's still going to be filtering that for you algorithmically. So if someone followed you for a trans-related post, they'll probably mostly only even see your other trans-related posts, and then the rest of it would just be like they just wouldn't even know about it unless they specifically went to your page. Anyhoozle, drinking more coffee. More coffee. So the plan so far for my garden this year is my partner suggested sweet potatoes, lima beans, strawberries. I think I'm going to do tomato and basil. If I have too much basil, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make so much pesto. Pesto is yummy. Today is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. True. Hot peppers. I don't really need them right now. I'm mostly, like, yeah, I want to do bell peppers. I'm probably not going to do spicy peppers. If for no other reason than, I don't want them to cross-pollinate weirdly. I've been considering getting the clock app, but I don't want to see Temu ads and undisclosed sponsorship TikToks. I only see TikToks on Twitter and Facebook. Excuse me. I want to try my hand at making a caramel apple cheesecake. Yes, that's the kind of New Year's resolution that we want to see, okay? Like, I want to, like, here's one of mine. Do a Bob Ross painting. Like, one of my, it's not really a New Year's resolution. My planner has a page that's called, like, annual bucket list, basically. Like, what's your bucket list for the year? And I'm like, yeah, I want to do a Bob Ross painting. Plankton makes 30% of our oxygen. Yeah. God. I don't think there's anything I can do to produce enough oxygen if we end up not having enough oxygen on the planet. Turns out whales eating plankton and krill is the most important part of that life cycle. It causes micronized iron to float in the upper parts of the ocean, which is what the plankton eats. We are at less than 50% of the plankton in the ocean since we started measuring. It's not good. There's nothing I can do about that, though. I'm trying to focus on problems that I can actually impact. Like, I can buy land and try to, like, have a like, increase of water reservoir on the land. Like, I can have that engineered. But yeah, and then, like, of course, putting more water into the land, like having ponds and stuff that rejuvenate the water supply, you know, has positive benefits on all kinds of stuff. This will be the first time being the gym regular annoyed by the New Year's crowd rather than part of the New Year's crowd who falls off by January. Good on you, Mama Mephistopheles. I have decided that I'm not going to the gym at all in January. I'm just hoping that people will be, mostly done with their New Year's kick by the time February comes around. God bless. It was time for me to switch it up anyway. I've been at the gym doing the same thing for like 6 to 8 weeks, so it's time for me to switch to do something else anyway. We were talking about whales. Best option is to have greenhouses with positive pressure inside. Live in your greenhouse if oxygen gets scarce. I mean, how do you do that in the summer? Because in the summer, you'll need to open the roof ventilation to let the heat out. I don't know. What time of year? I guess oxygen is going to be more scarce in the winter. Anyway. Doom and gloom. I gotta keep going. Gotta keep my pump up so I can get super duper buff. I just recently noticed I can see back muscles when I flex now. So you do want to switch up what you're doing, though, to be clear, like every 6 to 8 weeks. Even if you don't switch, like I'm basically switching from pushing the weight body exercises to like just body weight exercises, working more on stamina. But yeah, you do want to like at least change what exercises you're doing every 6 to 8 weeks, or maybe every 3 months, like probably at the longest, but you'll start to hit a wall and you won't see much progress after a while. Yeah, so it's good to switch it up every once in a while. Hey, there's 40 people in here. Hit the like button. We're mostly enjoying each other's company right now. At some point, I do have a couple of political things that I want to just kind of like get taken care of before the end of the year so that I can have some stuff prepared to edit for this week. But yeah, just bought a mug. Yes! That sounds amazing. I'm so glad that you just bought a mug. Did you know I have a merch store? You can buy a mug. I don't have one yet. I'm planning to get one. There's more oxygen in the summer for sure. Yes. No, you're good, kitty. You're good. I'm just like, oh god. Yeah, I can't do anything about oxygen shortage. IDK, how to do that really? My weekly workout routine is fairly comprehensive. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it doesn't even have to be major changes. Like, for example, if one of the things that I'm doing is I'm doing a back exercise, like the lats. I'm doing a lat pull down like this. That's like back, shoulders, biceps, right? A very easy way that you could change that, like still, you know, change it in such a way that you're going to be, like not hitting that plateau. You might switch to doing the lat pull cable, where like you sit down and you put your legs out in front of you against the thing and you reach out and it's like, this is the exercise. And it's, you know, it's like using different muscles at a different angle. So that's kind of one of the ways that you can change your workout routine to be like, so that you're not, because at a certain point, if you continue doing the same exact exercise for like 3 months, you will stop seeing any benefit. Like you'll start maintaining and you'll be like, okay, cool, I have a certain amount of muscle, but it will stop growing, which is why you want to like take a break for a few weeks or switch up to a different exercise for a short period of time. Like maybe you want to focus on cardio for a few weeks. I don't know. Happy for all you guys with your gains. Listen, I'm preparing to become a person who lives on a farm. Like, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna make scorched rice now, so I'll be lurking and listening. Is scorched rice a thing that you make on purpose? Or is that just a thing that happens? If you plateau, then it helps to take a week off your diet and exercises. Yeah, I mean, you can just rotate to different things, take a break from the specific thing that you're doing, switch it up a little bit. Keep the merch. My traps are good because of pushing an over 100-pound grocery cart uphill. Oh my god. Just... good stuff. So, health goals for the new year. Scorched rice is making me think of scraping burnt stuff off the bottom of a pan, but that's probably not what is meant by that. See, it's like, I think that scorched rice is a real thing, but I just don't know what it is or why you would want to eat it. Okay. What time is it? This is one of those cute ones that, like, has the times on it. It's like, keep it up. You can do this. Like, okay, I've drank enough water for it to be 3 p.m. now. Yeah, Mama, and like, you know, you don't necessarily have to switch everything up to a totally different set of exercises. You can also just switch. You could do the same exercises, but switch to doing like a little bit less weight and a little bit higher repetitions. Or you could just take a pause from your workout and switch to cardio for like a week or two and then get back to it. I forget how often a cheat week was recommended. It was either 1.5 months or 3 months. So yeah, it's either, yeah, like 6 months is the minimum amount of time that you should stick with any one thing. You know, you should stick with the same exercise routine for at least 6 weeks to start to see any benefit. And then like around 6 to 8 weeks is a good time to switch it up, but you can stick with it for like a few months. And, you'll probably hit the wall somewhere in there, but just all depends. So my main thing that I wanted to talk about today was the kind of alleged win in Ohio. I was actually about to upload the video talking about it. Most recently, we talked about the opponents only meeting, and I ended up talking a lot in that video about how it sucks that they approved this thing anyway, and I felt like I shouldn't just post that without at least having an addendum segment about the fact that ultimately the governor ended up not signing the bill. So yeah, I think that maybe I'll just end up scrapping that video and replacing it with our segment from today, talking about how he did veto the bill, and that is a good thing because it was, a blanket ban on all transition care for minors, but he's basically outlined his plan with what he intends to do instead, and that's bad. It's a bad plan, so we have to talk about it. Posted some animal pictures in the Discord for everyone. The Discord is a great place to post your cute animal pictures or your homesteading. I need to change the name of that channel. It needs to be homesteading / practical skills or something like that. But, you can share whatever you're working on art-wise. Can't ever just have good news, can we? Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Is a lot of people are taking this as a win and they want to celebrate. And it's like it kind of is. And my first response was, yeah, thank God. Okay, great. I'm so glad that he vetoed it. But if you look slightly further into it and what he thinks is appropriate otherwise. Obsis, thank you so much. 2024 donation, $20.24. Thank you. The Discord is a great place, full stop. It is. It's not the most bumpinest spot, but it's quite a nice location. Thank you very much. I appreciate the dono. 2024. I'm hoping it's a good year. This is, I think, the first time in a while that I've thought even once, oh man, it might be a good year. The last several years, I've just been well, this is not going to be fun. So hopefully we end up having a good time, or that at least we can commiserate as we watch everything collapse around us. I'm trying to be more hopeful. I don't even, you gotta just be practical, at least about your own lifespan. How am I gonna make sure that things are working out for me? Is a good vibe, especially the Horty hangs. I am never in the voice chat, so I'm glad that you guys have a good time in there. I just don't hang out in the voice chat. I guess when talking is your job, it makes sense that you might not want to do that on a group call. I don't know. Orcas, they're such cuties. Climate maps. Yes. Are there any other things that folks are looking forward to in the new year? We have, the election is coming up. And that's going to be kind of what the main thrust of 2024 is. Election stuff. Trump getting removed and reinstated from ballots. And do you get off the stream and just switch to sign language to rest your voice? I wish that I could take the time to learn sign language. Anytime you learn a language, it's just really impractical to do by yourself. You have to have someone to talk to. So it's okay, if I teach myself sign language, who am I going to talk to? I guess I just watch movies in ASL. Just watch movies about deaf people with ASL in them. I, for one, am looking forward to getting more involved in my local community in 2024. Yeah, for a while, you can look at your library's website to find out if there's any events that you want to go to, if there's any community centers. They might have a website where they have events scheduled. nature centers in particular also have a lot of fun stuff on them a lot of the time. So I am planning on looking into those things as well. And I guess I'm kind of also hoping that being at the community garden will give me opportunities to like talk to people and meet people. Although, of course, it's a community garden, so not everybody's going to be in there all day, every day. It may be that I end up going to my community garden and weeding and stuff during time that other people are not there. But yes, human connection, highly underrated. Last season of Stranger Things this year. Has Been Hotel will be on Prime. That's all I'm looking forward to. True. My QAnon mom is excited for the election. Oh no, why? 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 2024 going to be a long one. New baby in May. Hopefully scheduling my bottom surgery sometime late in the year. Have to take my son's mother to court to get time back with him. That sounds like it is going to be a tough year for sure. I have to orchestrate a cross-country move that's going to happen basically at the end of 2024. More or less. She's excited because Trump is going to be back in power, according to her. Honestly, with the way that Biden is handling his presidency, I would not be surprised if Trump wins. I'm not saying that I want him to. I'm just saying that he has done a dramatically shitty job. And I saw someone else tweet this the other day, and I think it's so true. I don't have any clear idea of what Biden plans to do with his second term. Part of the problem with not campaigning right now, because he's not campaigning, part of the problem with that is that we don't have any idea what he plans to do. I don't even think Biden wants to win at this point. Gayfesh, did you see, we watched a video a week or two ago, and I'm going to be uploading it probably this week, but we watched a video of a guy explaining how, you know, all of a sudden the Democrats' behavior started to make sense when he started to view it through the lens of they don't want to win. And basically the overall premise was both of our parties are interested in making money off of their corporate donors. So in order for Republicans, for example, to make money off their corporate donors, it's pretty easy. You know, they can manufacture all this outrage, and when they cut taxes for the rich and stuff like that, it's not opposed to any of the stuff that they are campaigning on. They can more or less be consistent. Excuse me. But the Democrats they campaign on what they campaign on, which the things that they campaign on are usually against corporate interest. So then when they actually win and they get into office, in order to maintain their corporate funding, they can't actually do any of the things that they campaigned on, so they have to fumble the ball. They have to, like, pretend to not be able to do things, right? It's like, for example, do you guys remember the Senate parliamentarian? This is actually something that we need to talk about today. Biden got into office, and one of the things that they were talking about during the campaign was raising the minimum wage. And then they were like, but the Senate parliamentarian won't let us talk about the minimum wage. And that was 3 years ago, and there's just been absolutely no movement or conversation about when the Senate parliamentarian told Bush he couldn't do X, they just fired him. You see what I mean? Like, they're pretending to not be able to do things because if they actually raised the minimum wage, that would be bad for the corporate interests. So they can't actually do any of the things that they promised to do. Big problem with Biden is he didn't do half of what he claimed he would do in his first term, so what are we supposed to expect for a second term? That's what I'm saying. You know, we were supposed to get some kind of student debt relief. However, student debt payments have just resumed. We were supposed to get an increased minimum wage. We were supposed to get, we were discussing the possibility of, federally legalized cannabis. You know, all these different things, allegedly, he could not do. Allegedly, we can't figure out. And yet, they passed a fucking executive order this week, literally just a couple of days ago, as of the recording of this video, just a couple of days ago, they sent a bunch more munitions to Israel, bypassing Congress again. There's just no there's no political will to do anything that's going to actually help people. There is political will to continue the genocide against Palestinians. Like, welcome to alt history, the version of history where the United States was on Hitler's side. It's the fucking worst. And this is all happening under a Democratic president. Like, active genocide that we keep funding, we keep circumventing Congress. There's no checks and balances on this, really. They can just do whatever they want, apparently. And they can just not do whatever they decide not to do, regardless of how many people want them to do it. I think Biden just assumes there's no way he can I think Biden just assumes there's no way Trump can beat him, and he's not trying, which is exactly the mentality Hillary had. Yeah, I think that they're just banking on the idea that, oh, Trump is so obviously foolish and dumb that people won't want to vote for him. Or, oh, they obviously saw how much of a clown he was in his first term. Obviously, they won't vote for him. Or maybe they're not even concerned about him being on the ballot because of the whole insurrection and the 14th Amendment saying that it's basically not legal for him to run for president. You know what? They don't feel the need to earn your vote. They just don't feel like, they're like, oh, you're automatically going to vote for us. And that's the problem with vote blue no matter who, is because they can do bullshit like run as a progressive and then very shortly after they get into office be like John Fetterman and go, yeah, I'm not really a progressive though. I'm like a normal centrist kind of Democrat. And it's like, stop lying, dude. What's up, Mark? Yes, Biden is terrible, but looking at it another way, the way to get Democrat primary voters to move left is for Democrats to win more. I don't know if that's actually the case. Oh, okay, Fesh, you're funny. What's up, Kodiak? Welcome in. Biden is just a blue Republican, TBH. Right, you know, border detentions. They put money toward building the wall. They stopped doing any kind of pandemic stuff, like, you know, no more economic relief. They're, you know, not sending out guidance about masking, just kind of like letting it rip. All these things that Biden criticized Trump for during his campaign, he's just doing them. He's just doing all of it. My faith in our government is at an all-time low, which is impressive because I've been at several all-time lows before and thought this can't possibly get worse. Yeah, to some extent, like, I'm going to keep talking about the political situation, right? You know, it's my job to do the political analysis, and I enjoy it. It's, you know, it's going to be fascinating to see this train wreck happen. But on a practical level, the reason why I talk about, like, the homesteading and the gardening and stuff is because, like, I have completely given up on the idea that we're going to have a country in a few years. Like, I don't know what or when exactly is going to happen, but I genuinely kind of think, you know, this is extending so far as, like, to do I want bottom surgery, actually? Like, yes, I want the genitals that I want. Like, I want to have that end result. But, like, for example, if you get phalloplasty and you need an implant, like a penile implant, that thing needs to be replaced every 10 years. So it's like, am I going to sign up for having, like, a thing that needs ongoing medical care? Am I even going to have the option to get a surgical intervention if it fails or something, like, in 10 years? I don't know. Classic Onion headline: man who thought he'd lost all hope loses last additional bit of hope he didn't even know he still had. Yeah. I guess it's the black pill, sort of, but it's not just the black pill, because I'm not trying to lie down and rot. It's the black pill, so it's like, okay, how do I become 100% self-sufficient? Like, how do I make sure that when shit hits the fan, I'm not going down with the ship, basically? Connect with local anarchist groups. Get into local community before the USA splits into multiple city-states. Yeah, I'm only going to be in this area for another year, but I am going to try to meet some people anyway, and then I'm going to move somewhere else. And one of the things that I do plan on doing is, no matter where it is, you got to know your neighbors, like, and hopefully I'll be able to have decent people around, one would hope. Thank you, Noah, with a tier 1 sub. Need my green name to rant properly. I know, it just doesn't hit the same. Otherwise, thank you. Appreciate you. Excuse me. I ate some ramen before the show, and the burps are very savory tasting right now. It's gnarly. Okay. Feels better to have the green name. Good. Radical self-reliance, basically. But I also recognize that, 100% radical self-reliance is probably not the way to go. Can I coordinate with anybody else? I don't really want to share ownership of my land. I want to purchase some land and, I want to just be able to do whatever the fuck I want with it. But do any of you commies want to move in and, buy the land next to me? I don't know. We've seen Trump's platform and Project 2025. If they get into office, all trans healthcare is off the table, legally anyway. I mean, I don't know if they'll have the votes they need. It's it could be that we get Trump as president, but we get a blue Congress, or at least a blue one of the houses. So it's not like a guarantee that they're gonna kill trans healthcare all over the place, but yeah, obviously that is a concern, understandably. Which is part of why I want to live in a state where I feel like they would actively be resistant to those laws, sanctuary state laws. Are they really going to send in the fucking National Guard to prevent people who live in Washington state from getting hormones because it's illegal there? I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying, Donuwumayowo. In red states, obviously, it would be very bad, but even if we had Trump as president, I think the blue states would still be relatively safe. I want to win the lottery and build a whole bunch of houses for my friends, and have thought about the most ethical way to do that and not be a landlord about it. Yeah, the thing is, my land is going to be, being actively renovated for a certain period of time for the sake of, hopefully finding some way to put more water into the land. And then there's going to be the whole gardening and farming aspect of it. And I how do you bring someone on and be okay, you can just stay over there in your little area, and I don't know, how do you do that? Do you require that they contribute some sort of form of labor? Do you just have them pay you $500 a month? I don't know. I don't really know what the best way to do that would be, which is why I'm just kind of focused on how am I going to be self-sufficient. And then it would be cool if I had neighbors around, but I don't know. I feel like I need to do more research on the whole commune, how people operate in small, we are so hopeful about the idea of making this work in these small communities, but okay, I bet you if you guys were to go, okay, who are other leftists who you think it would be good for me to have on the commune or whatever? If you just think, oh, Xander Hall, or Demon Mama and the Critters, any group of people, and I'm just throwing out other streamers as an example, but if any group of these people, you're probably going to find at least one, oh, these people really don't get along kind of situation. And it's okay, well, how do you live together? if it's so easy in small groups, as we see over and over with lefty communities, it's so easy to have a conflict over some stupid bullshit happening on Twitter, much more visceral interpersonal conflicts, I don't know, oh, you're trashing this area. I've let you come here and live on my land, and this area that I'm letting you guys live on is trashy and shitty. And therefore it's causing issues, like whatever, I don't know. Vosh can fight off harmful animals for you, yeah. Bring them on and start a local homeowners association. Oh god, that sounds terrible. I'm a wilderness survivalist hobbyist, but know quite a bit. Twitter level of petty drama really falls apart face to face. We can hope, I guess. I'm just saying that, like, there are social, like, I avoid being around people because I do not want to have drama. I don't want to have, like, conflicts. I don't really want to deal with any of that shit. It's just much easier to just not talk to anyone. And as much as I know that that's unhealthy for me, that is just where I'm at on this, which is why when I'm envisioning this future apocalypse survival situation, sometimes I imagine people coming by briefly for the purposes of trade or travel, but I don't really imagine living in a space with a lot of other people. Which is not to say I'm defending that. I'm not saying that this is a good thing, but that I do not know how to practically make it work. And I would have to think about it a lot more, you know? You could also rent the land to your friends for like $1 or something. Yeah, I guess the best way to do it is to have a contract, but like a really relaxed contract. And like, I want there to be some contribution from people who live there. Like, don't come live on my land if you're not going to be contributing to the whole homestead project. Take a country full of people inundated with capitalist propaganda and put them in a post-apocalypse. You get lords and serfs. Seems simple to me. I mean, yeah. Like, how do you, as the person who owns the land, not just become a lord? It's tricky. We all think that we would be the benevolent dictator. It tripped me up years ago when Linus said that at Linus Tech Tips. He was on Twitter, and he was talking about the whole concept of collective ownership or unions or whatever, and he was like, I don't think that collective ownership is the way to go because I don't want to share decision making with other people. I think of myself as a benevolent dictator, and that's like the most optimal way of running a company and getting the things done. And then it turns out that there's a whole bunch of issues that they had to bring in an entirely different CEO to deal with. Like, yeah. I don't know if anybody who thinks that they can be a benevolent dictator is not going to be able to do that. That's the issue we're worried with. We're worried about with anything commune-like for our clients is our clients would need to be okay with living somewhere with more than basic expectations. That's what I mean, you know? Like, you have to have a job. If we live in a village, okay? Let's pretend like capitalism never happened. Let's just say we live in a village of about 100 to 150 people because that's kind of how humans are supposed to live. Like, everybody has a job. Even the disabled people in our community, like, have historically had jobs. We've seen, you know, we know, looking at human anthropological historical record, that, you know, we would keep alive people who had a disability, which means that they were probably doing something for us. They were minding the fire, while everybody else who's more able-bodied is doing labor that's more intensive, or they're minding the children, or they tell stories at night, you know, like, even folks who are disabled are still contributing to the community, right? So there is an expectation, like, on a commune, where, you know, you could call it in a village, because functionally they're the same thing. It's a small local economy that provides most of its own resources and, like, trades for what it doesn't have. So, but, like, everybody has to be doing something, you know? If you want to continue being, like, primarily a Twitch streamer, and you don't really want to do any physical labor, well, then you need to pay money. Or, like, ideally, you would be contributing some kind of physical labor. Like, we're rotating out skills. You know, this week, I would like you to feed the chickens every day. Next week, I want you to weed this garden. Like, you have to be willing to do something. It's like, even if you are disabled on a commune, like, I'm disabled, but I'm able to push through that and like still mostly have a healthy day. You know, the other day I had a really bad like random all of a sudden POTS episode, and I just laid down on the floor and I was like, okay, so I was out of commission for that time, but for the most part I can get up and around. But if you can't do physical labor, then there's something else you need to be doing. You need to be minding the children, or chopping vegetables in the kitchen, or like balancing the books, something along those lines. Maybe if you're disabled, the thing that you can do is help manage the schedule, and you can be the person who assigns the roles, because the management itself is also quite difficult. Maybe you are the one who gets in contact with we need this plumbing thing fixed. So and so needs to get in touch with the plumber. You know, there has to be some kind of willingness. And so like that's where you have to have the same values, and you have to have the same like willingness to work within expectations. Teaching babysitting, yeah, you, like, has to be something. Have to contribute in some way. I've watched a bit of Matriarch Type lately. She's British, living in Japan, and trans. She covered the UK trans guidelines and recently did a bit on TYT talking about funny British slang, which was good. I'm glad that there are other successful international trans folks. Sometimes I wonder if having internal conflicts within the left is better than the dubious right protecting all the toxicity within their circles. I kind of understand what you mean, Ramya, in the sense that the Republican Party, to some extent, is less fractious and therefore more capable of getting things done. Like, yeah, that's the appeal behind a dictatorship as well, is that, you know, the appeal behind authoritarianism is that there's no squabbling, things get done, there's no bureaucratic nonsense. This is one of the ways that fascists will fucking get you, is because they will harp on, and it is a thing that you should criticize about neoliberal society, that, oh, nothing ever gets done. It's like a joke in The Giver, the book The Giver by Lois Lowry, that, you know, oh, they'll assign it to committee and they'll have a meeting and then nothing is ever going to get done. And they treat it like a joke, like nothing ever changes in the community. And so that is a bureaucratic, like, criticism to be made, that they just always, like, kick the can down the road. I know, it's a great book. And so that is one of the appeals of authoritarianism and fascism, is like, yeah, well, the thing is that I don't really need to like wait for anyone's approval, so I can just get things done. Oh, you know what? I've decided that we need to build this bridge. And so guess what? We're going to build this bridge. There's no squabbling. There's no questions. There's no allocation of the budget. Like, it just fucking gets done because I said it needs to get done. There's an appeal to that, right? But how that actually works in terms of like, people want to be consulted about what they think about these things. You know, people want to have input in what's happening in their communities, particularly. So that's the other thing, is I have all these things I've imagined about, if I were to buy some land, here's how it would go. This is what we would grow. These are the things we would produce, and I would plan to trade these things and stockpile this. I don't want to share the decision making with anyone. Like, I really don't want to be going, well, I already put my first greenhouse here, but I've decided that we're going to expand and build a second greenhouse, and I want to put it here. And then to have a bunch of fucking people telling me their ideas about where it should go, like, it can be, if it's my partner, I'm like, yes, I want your opinion. But like, if there's a bunch of people going like, yeah, but I don't like that it's going to block my view of I don't care, dude. Like, oh my God, just imagining it, I'm like, I would lose it. Of course, the other side of that argument, yes, Mersh, is that knee-jerk bad ideas are not implemented disastrously on the whim of the dictator. Yeah. No dictator can be an expert in everything. They will eventually make enough mistakes that shit gets fucked. Well, yes, this is the whole idea behind, like, oh, you know, a good king listens to his advisors. And it's like, okay, you know, a good dictator would listen to the experts and consult and would assign committees to figure out what the best course of action would be. What you're talking about doing is what we're doing, but with an NP, with a nurse practitioner. I don't know what NP means in this context. People having input can be weaponized too, like the UK laws about how if one person objects to renewable energy in a community, it cannot happen. NP means nonprofit. Okay, I was like, what is happening? Yeah, like I honestly think that they did that on purpose. Typical. I think that they made that the law. Oh, if only one person objects to renewable energy. So like for example, I'm assuming that could be stretched so far as if I don't like the way that your solar panels look on your roof, then you can't have them. I imagine that it could be that superficial, and I don't think that that's an appropriate amount of input from other people, for sure. The new greenhouse is going to block the view from my blacked out windows. Yeah, you own a farm and want a wind turbine. There's a meeting and one person says no, it can't be done. It's silly, right? My aunt likes to control everything. A few years ago, we went to Detroit to shop for Black Friday. Big mistake. She tried to get out of her car and direct traffic on a jammed street. Oh, God. Okay, so you're doing this, but with a nonprofit? Yeah, okay, so I guess... Yeah, is there a specific structure of that? You're just doing it with... Like, the nonprofit owns the land, basically. It's technically owned by the nonprofit organization rather than being owned by, like, for example, if I bought land, it would be owned by me. In my lottery cottage court neighborhood plan, I am very loose with my plans. I would just love to give each of my friends free reign to choose what their house will be like. My main requirements are just that we have a cottage court, and one building is going to be not a house, but a community home theater that is a 1-to-1 replica of the USS Enterprise D bridge. Oh, that's lovely. And that's a great, yeah. How can it be an exact replica of the Enterprise D bridge? How many chairs would that be? That would be not very many chairs. But the screen would certainly be big enough, so I think that would work. You could just bring in more chairs. Okay, fair enough. Hey, Kitty Tick, thank you so much for the tier 3 sub. Got a 3-month for 48 because it is 2/24s. Have a beautiful year, dear. Excited for your future plans. Thank you so much. I'm very excited. My donos this next couple of weeks are going to go toward buying like seeds and things like this, so appreciate you. Much appreciate you. Heck yeah. Okay, I'm not going to try to do this in my head. Okay, 7324. We've got to 7324. Hell yeah. We're approximately $25 away from hitting the stream goal today. Look at us. We have such good plans. Yes. Purple. Where are you getting your seeds? I haven't thought about it yet. I haven't thought about that yet at all. I was basically just going to go to like Home Depot or something. Have you heard of Benjamin A. Boyce? I don't think so. Dave Chappelle has released another transphobic special. I'm not surprised by that. I am very much not surprised by that. Ricky Gervais just posted another one as well. I don't know if his was explicitly transphobic, but it was definitely going like, ooh, you know, I'm too edgy. You comedians are too edgy for this crowd these days. The Ricky Gervais is, yeah, he's getting heavily roasted right now. Johnny's Seeds is a good place. Is that online? Is that a website? Okay, that's a website. Johnny's Seeds. Cool. Good to know. If you buy live plants, buy them all from the same vendor. Like, grown by the same people. It helps make it so if they do come with a bug, it's not, it will be all the same. Yeah, well, I am probably just going to grow from seeds. I really want to try that. Just entirely grow from seeds. Except for maybe the garlic. I don't know. Do I want to grow garlic from bulbs? Like, do I want to grow garlic from the cloves? Or do I want to get the seeds? I don't know. Anyway. Maybe try gurneys for seeds. Epic Gardening. I've been following Epic Gardening on YouTube. James Acaster is the best modern comedian. Changed my mind. I like that James A. Caster, when this whole conversation about the Ricky Gervais thing comes up and people start quoting his special, which is great. That little part of it is great, by the way. But he's very much like, I'm glad that it recirculates and it makes sense that it does, but also there are so many like trans comedians out there and trans people making even more important statements than what I said, and I wish that those people were getting bumped. Which I'm like, dude, he's a solid guy. He's like the most solid, brave little cis boy. He's the best. But try gurneys for seeds. I'm gonna open these tabs and do some price comparison later. Fruit trees count too at grocery stores. I don't know if I'm gonna buy fruit trees yet. I'll probably wait. If you get food stamps, you can buy seeds with them. Ooh, that's good to know. Of course, with trees, you want to get saplings. Yeah, the amount of time that it takes to grow them from seed is fucking insane. So with trees, I'll grow from sapling. Bye, have fun with your game. Bonsai them, then plant when you move. Can I keep them at my community garden plot? I guess I would ask. Like, obviously this is intended for me to use it as a plot, but can I put like some potted plants out there? Because I don't really have a place to keep plants like trees in my house. I don't have the space outside for it. Like, they require a lot of light, and I don't have it here. Excuse me. We would just plant garlic cloves directly as it worked just as well. Sure. There are indigenous groups that sell seeds, which helps to preserve local biodiversity. You could build some really basic vertical farming setup for certain houseplants. I have right now, like I have one of those metal shelves with like the metal grate, and all my plants are on that, so like the light from above can seep down through. And then I have that shoved in a window. Oh my god. I'm basically just planning to do 7 plants. Hey, what are you doing, you weirdo? Huh? My cat is just off frame being a weird little guy. Sir? Anyhoozle. So that's what I'm excited about for this year. It's gonna be a good time. Strawberries and tomatoes are great for the vertical farming method. Tomatoes are really... apparently they're quite easy to grow, so that's gonna be fun. Oh god. Johnny's seeds, Gurney's seeds. I don't know if it was Twitter or if I saved it in my bookmarks, but I'll try looking for the seeds website. Okay, thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, because he said Epic Gardening sells seeds. And yeah, I follow both 2 of his channels, so I'll be able to find him easily. Oh gosh. It's the end of the year as we know it. But yeah, definitely, Donuumayowo, tell me, oh, I guess she already left earlier, but I hope that she sent me the links to the, whatever they're doing, commune in Washington. Good stuff. I'm like having a hard time thinking if there's anything else that I even have going on right now that I could talk about. I'm just thinking about gardening and growing things and acquiring resources about this. They are easy to grow, but are subject to lots of pests and molds. Annoying. Oh shit, y'all. Graham Linehan said 2023 is the year in which trans ideology is destroyed. We only have a few hours left until we all zap off the face of the earth. Did he mean to say that 2024... did he mean to say next year is the year in which trans ideology is destroyed? Gurneys and Burgess. Okay, good to know. I have that link open now. I guess I'll have to order seeds soon if I'm gonna start stuff inside, huh? That's why it's good to think ahead, everybody. Don't go, oh, it's March, I should figure out what I'm planting. No. Think ahead. Go Harvest Moon on their ass. Oh, he said it at the end of 2022, talking about 2023. I see. It's a post from a year ago. Well, you know, he tried his best. I'll give him that. I'll give him a little pat on the head for certainly trying his best to eradicate trans ideology. Anyhow. I love how he like tweeted all through Christmas Day this year. It's like, wow, you really genuinely aren't seeing any of your family right now. His wife took the kids. I've never seen My Little Pony. I'm sorry, I can't help you. Acorn Land Labs has a Harvest Moon-like Kickstarter game that teaches how to actually survive instead of just being a neat game. I think you mentioned this, but it's just a Kickstarter, right? Like, it hasn't... Acorn Land Labs. Graham Linehan has the ultimate divorced dad energy. Just needs the white New Balance shoes. It's pretty sad. Straight up. Just, man. I don't even know if he wants to see his kids. That's the thing that sucks the most about it is, like, do you even care that your kids don't want to have anything to do with you because you have not been able to figure out how not to be a weirdo? Some of the molds that get tomatoes are so bad the whole plot needs to be dug up, and the plants need to be disposed of at a great distance, and don't burn them. Tobacco mosaic is the big one. See, this is the other thing. I got so much stuff I have to learn. I have to learn about the blights that could afflict all of the different plants that I plan to grow. There's apple seeds planted next to pear seeds, and then the trees end up wrapping around each other and creating their respective fruits. I don't know if apples and pears are friends like that. I'm guessing that they probably could. You could probably train them to grow in any way you wanted to train them to grow. I really like the idea, for example, of having a living willow fence. Like, because it's a naturally reinforcing system. Me in March. Huh, kudzu sounds cool. Might as well plant it everywhere. Check out Arrow Garden for indoor gardening. I'm probably not going to have a greenhouse for a few years. But that's good to know. Back to the Roots has starter kits for education that don't take up much space. Back to the Roots? Sells gardening supplies and provides information and support to help people grow their own food. You guys are providing me with so many neat links today. The only gardening tip I have is that ladybugs eat spider mites. Thanks, Trailer Park Boys. Gorgeous. Is there any non-gardening stuff that people plan to do this year? For all you gardeners out there, please avoid Home Depot because they partnered with Autism Speaks. Good to know. They've also donated to Trump's campaign, so. 2x4s and heavy-duty plastic sheeting equals cheap greenhouse. True. True. I guess you could put down a temporary cheap greenhouse in the location that you plan on having your for-real greenhouse later. My old landlord had a wisteria plant. It tried to kill everything and successfully murked one of his French rose bushes. Rip. Basically every retail chain has donated to Trump, so there's no real avoiding that. Fair enough. Corpse Candy is going back to school after 10 years. Hey, that's a legit thing to do with your time. It's good shit. No wisteria allowed. This year I'm going to make a lot of crafts. Sewing, crochet, painting, rock tumbling, bone cleaning, etc. Just the year of diving into your hobbies. I love that. I adore that. I've been doing a lot of crochet recently anyway. I'm kind of in between. I mean, I have some projects that I'm kind of slowly chipping away at, but I'm in between projects that I'm passionate about. I don't have anything I'm super excited about right now. Need to come back around to it. This year I'm going to debut a whole new look. Nice. I don't know what you look like anyway, so that's exciting. This year I'm going to build up my chest and maybe top surgery. Yes. Do, if you have a gym that has, or I guess you can just do this by like laying back flat, but do these, like where you have the weight and you are pulling it in. That'll really buff up your chest. I look like a bisexual clownfish. Oh, okay. You're changing the, I get it. Good, fun stuff. I still have some work I need to do on the branding, like changing the color temperatures and stuff. Ooh, Avi says, after a toxic 2-year-long relationship, I ended it. Now it's the year of me, aka the crafts. Yes! I love that. I love that. I want to see if I can get T-blockers. Good call. That's called a chest fly. I love those. Only way I know how to work out pecs. I mean, any push-ups that you do are going to work out your pecs as well. Yeah. But those are, like, I don't want to really have a big chest, which is why I don't do chest flies. I specifically avoid them. New Year's resolution is to get the hang of crocheting and relearn sewing. Yes! One of my friends has a kid who's, like, 15, who, I'm gonna go teach them how to do crochet. Because they got, like, a set for Christmas. Like, they got... Kind of like my partner got me this, cross-stitch set. My friend's kid got a crochet thing, and they're just having a really, really, really hard time wrapping their head around it. So when it's warmer, on a day where it's like in the 50s or something, I'm gonna go over there and have like a porch session. And I'm really excited about that because I was taught how to crochet when I was like 12, and then I just kind of didn't pick it up again for a long time. I like did it sporadically here and there across my lifetime, and then recently I've really, really, really gotten into it. And yeah, I just love the idea of being able to pass on that gift, because it's a gift. Like having a skill and giving it to a young person is passing down something that they will never lose, you know? It took me like 6 years and 8 to 15 times retrying before I actually figured out crochet. You have to be, yes, exactly. It's the kind of thing that is best learned from someone who already knows. And the same is true with knitting, in my opinion. I tried to learn how to knit, and I can do it on a very basic level, but, oh my god, I don't want to try to teach myself how to knit. Ever since I started working out, I definitely pass less than when I was just ED skinny, but I've decided to be a muscle mommy gender monster because it feels better. Yes! Is crochet the knitting-like one? Crochet? Oh, crochet. I don't know crochet. I gave one of these to a definitely not romantic interest for Xmas. It's a water hydroponics and aquaponics ecosystem. Oh, that is way too small for a fish to be in it. The fish can't be in there. That's too small. It's cute as a concept, but... Croquet is a game where you lightly hit balls with mallets. True. I was 5 when I learned. My grandma taught me. My mom has been crocheting since she was 8. It's so good. Yeah, Avi says my mom taught me to knit and sew, and those skills I will never lose, but I'm self-taught crochet, so it's harder. Yeah, agreed. So, it's good to be able to impart your knowledge on people. And the more skills you gain, the more opportunities you have to be a teacher as well, is kind of a nice thing about it. Like, the more things you learn, the more you can then teach. I've been acquiring archaic skills my whole life because I'm terrified of seeing them disappear. There are so many things that I have picked out of a book that are no longer a part of the world. I feel like we can't let it all go away. There's so many skills. Like, I'm sure that there's plenty of information online about cheese making, so we can probably salvage that skill if society collapses, but, like, yeah. We're gonna have to learn trial and error some things. It's lots of room for... A single beta fish needs a 10-gallon tank. Or, hold on, is it 5? They need a minimum a 5-gallon tank. But, like, realistically, for one beta fish, like, the humane amount of space for them is, like, a 10 gallon. my dog learned to bump, i.e. he fist bumps with his nose, and he learned it from watching my brother's dog do it. Raid the library first at the end of the world. Like, my mother-in-law has some books that are, like, about, living off-grid and stuff, and I kind of want to be like, hey, Mom, you are probably never going to try to live off-grid at this point. Can you please give me your books? My aunt was miffed that my grandma taught me crochet because crochet is apparently a girl thing, but 5-year-old me didn't care. It was getting to spend quiet time with grandma. I recently watched a video of a super exuberant and enthusiastic young boy who was like probably 10 or 12, who was just like whipping them out. And I was like, okay, I'm glad that you really love that. We love to see boys doing stereotypically girlish things, thus breaking the idea that there is such a thing as girlish and boyish stuff. If I do get a fish and it goes belly up, is it dead for sure? Yeah, I think that that's part of the whole thing. But I don't know. I gotta learn, like, fish are a beneficial thing to have in a hydroponic system, so I might have to learn to do fish care, even though I really don't want to do that. But I was, like, pinging ideas off my partner the other day, and he was like, oh, you could grow algae, like spirulina algae, for example, and it's a good source of different vitamins, and it's like a somewhat protein source. And that's pretty neat. And he was like, oh, you could also grow shrimps. I was like, I didn't think about growing shrimp, but you totally could. I recently added a zine called an anti-capitalist pagan primer, or a pagan anti-capitalist primer. Fun stuff. I had a betta fish as a kid, but I didn't know about the tank thing, and neither did my parents. It was such a small tank. I feel bad now because I was so proud of taking care of that fish by myself when I was little. Don't feel bad. At the pet store, the local pet store that's supposed to be, like, good local pet store, support the local guy, they also keep their bettas in tanks that are too small. I thought about starting an algae farm. I can make Soylent Green. Soylent Green! Don't you need salt water for shrimp? Yeah, I think so. Are there freshwater shrimp? Wait. Freshwater shrimp are any shrimp which live in fresh water. This includes any Caridea species, especially the family Attidae. So yeah, there are freshwater shrimps. Thought Emporium is mostly a physics and biology experiment channel, but he showed off an aquaponics setup recently that seems feasible. Shrimps is bugs. Or are bugs just terrestrial shrimps? That's a question for the ages. Oh man, are we going to be able to get to 69 likes today? With this lovely end of year discussion. Talking about our cool plans for next year. I named the betta Sylvan because it was a silvery blue color. Yes. Gorgeous. I could go for a lobster roll right now. I have been craving crab for like months, but it's so just unreasonably expensive, you know? I'm not even buying beef right now because beef is so expensive. Like, I'm sitting here buying pork and fucking turkey and chicken because that's, you know, those are the meats that are tolerable right now. And then, oh my god, you get a box of like 2 halves of a crab, or maybe 3 halves of a crab, at the grocery store, and that's like $22. So it's like $22 for the protein of 1 meal. Like, are you fucking kidding? Even if I were to buy like a beef roast to make a pot roast, it would be like $15 probably for the chunk of meat that I would use to make that roast. Like, oh my god. And that would be so much more food. When I worked at the zoo, our insectarium had a big kitchen, and if you had a seafood allergy, it was recommended you did not eat the bug snacks. Yeah, if you have a seafood allergy, like, not just seafood, like if you have the allergy to crustaceans, you should not eat crickets. You should not eat those kind of bug treats, snacks. I used to have a beta fish named Gerard Way. Oh, cute. My New Year's resolution is to eat a lobster roll at some point. Lux, remind me later and I'll get you my mom's crab cake recipe. It's so good. I've never had crab cakes before. Sounds delicious. You can raise shrimp in an outdoor pond, but you have to be far away from any place that uses pesticides, has flooding, or might otherwise pollute the water. If I do a hydroponic system or any kind of farming of water creatures, it's going to happen in my greenhouse. So hopefully the water would be fairly controlled in that situation. But yeah, all these different things you have to think about. You do have to consider. Part of having the soil tested probably is going, oh, has there ever been any toxic waste spilled here? Because if you live in America, the answer is probably yeah at some point. God. You guys have provided me so many links. I can go and look at so many different things. Gorgeous. My hair is such a wreck today. I need to wash my hair. It's overdue for a wash. Drink more water, babes. Aquaponics is only feasible on land when it's a small operation. Yeah. And aquaponics and hydroponics is like when you get the fish involved, right? Anyway. So, we've been kind of in and out of conversation for a while. Like I said, I kind of already discussed the... Hold on. It's 12/31/2023. I kind of already discussed Biden executive action, which I still think is bullshit. Okay. Drink water. And the only, so aside from Biden and his bullshit right now, I don't think I have any other, political segments that I plan on doing today. I can check and see if I've... Gayfesh, I really 100% agree with you. I saw this AI finished painting earlier, and I agree that this person should not be able to do things. I don't really remember the entire idea behind the original painting. This is the original painting, and I can't remember exactly the idea behind it, but I know that it was left unfinished on purpose, for a specific reason. Is this one of those, is it, from the AIDS epidemic? Or is this a different thing? But it's, there's, obviously people, dancing in here. This has some specific meaning because it is unfinished. And then this chucklefuck used AI to complete it. And I'm like, you suck so bad. Terrible. I need my chat back. Where are you? Yeah, the original painting was unfinished because the artist died of AIDS. Yeah, I have seen a lot of AIDS-related art like that. And so, yeah, it's fucked up. Unfinished things were unfinished sometimes for a reason, and that brings the poignancy. Yeah, Kitty Tick, you mentioned tilapia at some point, and so that's the fish that I think of when I think of doing aquaponics. High replacement rate, and they don't mind crowding. Bugs are crustaceans, but not all crustaceans are bugs. True. I posted a picture of a vase in Pics and Memes. Hold on. A vase in Pics and Memes. What picture have you yonder posted? Oh my goodness. Why? I mean, it's got some charm to it, certainly, but like, why? It definitely looks like when you do the eyeball emoji and then the lips emoji and then the eyeball emoji, that's what it looks like. Thank you for that. Yeah, yeah, she's serving cunt. That is what's happening here. I don't know why. I don't know why. She's straight up chilling and serving. I love the tulip. That's a tulip? No. Yes? No. Yes? That's tulip? I think that's a tulip. It's cute, though. What a great shot to enter the stream, too. Yeah, welcome in, Kendra. Enjoy. Enjoy that. Can we get to 69 likes today? 69 likes. Please, let's do it. Yeah, but like I said, I think I only really have the... Oh, yeah, this is another fun one. I'm not gonna do a segment about this, but like, Biden, when he was campaigning, I promised George Floyd's family that he wouldn't just become another hashtag, and I intend to keep that promise. We need justice, and we need real police reform to ensure this never occurs again. Meanwhile, mapping police violence finds more than 1,200 people have been killed by police so far in 2023, surpassing last year's record for deadly police violence. Police killed more people in America this year than in any other year in recent history. Interesting. Fascinating. I'm doing my part. I want to watch that so bad. I keep forgetting that I want to watch it. Man. Starship Troopers. What a movie. Joseph Robinette, fund the police, Biden. He really is doing he's doing a good stuff. Yes, 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 yes. Just making sure that I don't have anything else that I retweeted that I meant to talk about. We have a lot more brown shirts in the open now. When you say brown shirts, does that mean comrades? What does that mean? There's been so many different red, brown, black shirts. Like, you know, what the fuck does that mean? If we're talking specifically about Firefly, that's a different thing. Brown shirts were the Hitler fans. Okay. Cool. Yes, there are a lot more open fascists now. Twitter honestly has made a big difference on that. Let me see. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Liberals. Obviously, Biden cannot do anything about inflation, COVID, climate change, student loans, healthcare, minimum wage, or anything else because of Congress. And you are a dumb baby if you demand anything of him, Biden. Bypassing Congress in an emergency weapons sale to Israel. Brown shirts, IIRC, were more like Proud Boys, not official government agents. Yeah, that makes sense to me. It makes sense. Brown shirts were the Nazi supporters before they took power. They were part of the raid on the Hirschfeld Institute, IIRC. So the brown shirts were kind of like the civilian... It's not the Sturmabteilung. They would have been like even more casual than that. I had a weird dream the night after watching SST. I dreamt that I was affected by Hulk syndrome and couldn't enlist. You became Bruce Banner. Oh, this is a good one. Oh, yes, we should read this. We do have another thing to do. More like a militia. Yeah. The army would be so stupid for not recruiting the Hulk. How do you make sure that he doesn't kill your guys, though? That's always the problem with the Hulk, right? Is that it's like, how do you point him in the right direction? This is a banger that I just want to share. someone says, you have to live your life. Like, but I'm not going to take advice on how to live life from someone whose entire idea of living is encompassed by visiting an indoor restaurant. The USA already has dozens of militias, and from what I've seen, most are openly fash. Yeah, it is rather unfortunate. Okay, I need to get this stuff for Governor DeWine open. Governor DeWine in Ohio. I need to see his actual statement, please. Okay. Where? Okay, I have this. I have the veto message from Governor DeWine ready to talk about. Oh my god. Yawn. I need a nap. Need a nap. Don't actually need a nap. I just probably didn't. Well, I had ramen before stream, which is like, you know, a decent chunk of calories. I think I probably just need some protein. I'm like, why am I so sleepy right now? My goodness. So we have Governor DeWine stuff to talk about. And we have a thing about, yeah, the Iowa Don't Say Gay law. The Michigan militia is definitely full of morons more than anything, last I checked anyway. I want to move somewhere where there's a queer militia. Can we start a queer militia, please? That would be great. Oh my gosh, I am so sleepy. I am so appreciative of all of you who have been hanging out for today, for the past year, for the past 2 years. It's been a good time. It's certainly been fun, and we've had to figure some new things out. We've tried some stuff. There's a queer militia near San Francisco. Nice. I'm going to be living a couple 100 miles north of that. Appreciate the streams. Nice. Okay, I'm just making sure. Okay, I have a couple of things open. I have some teed up, ready to talk about some politics stuff. The Navy would drop people in San Francisco for being gay. They were like, we've decided to put all the gays in one place, which frankly was a good wingman move. That was quite a wingman move. A wing bing bang move. Oh, interesting. The city of Binghamton in New York has banned a landlord from owning or managing property there for the next 15 years and seized 26 of his properties because of code violations, aka being a slumlord. I would love to see more of this. That's like that's all the detail that I got about this. I didn't really look into any further detail, but I just think that that's a neat thing that should probably happen more. I think that landlords should have their property expropriated more often. Wouldn't that be lovely? Wouldn't it be nice? Okay. I think, yeah, that's basically the two things that I'm prepared to talk about for the politics for the rest of the stream is the veto of the anti-trans bill in Ohio and the blocking of the Iowa Don't Say Gay law. Binghamton is near my childhood stomping grounds. Yeah, but expropriated by whom and for what purpose? Well, yeah, so long as we have a U.S. government, I think that it should be like illegal to own more than maybe like 5 properties. I think that 5 properties would be more than enough. You could have a beach house, you could have a hunting lodge, you could have your regular house, you could have your other regular house, and then you could have the house that you rent to someone else. I don't know. Like, I feel like 5 properties is more than enough. But yeah, and also there's so many places where these, these slumlords, frankly, are blatantly violating the law, and they just aren't being held accountable. So the system that we are supposed to already have in place, if we could just use that, then that would also be great to prevent people from letting their properties degrade over time and refusing to do maintenance and otherwise just being awful to the people who are leasing their property. Wouldn't that be wonderful? 42 concurrent viewers. My voice is tired. Cough, cough, Central Valley of California. Gorgeous. Okay, so yeah, we have our 2 topics lined up for the rest of this show. I would cap wealth. There needs to be a maximum wage, which would also mitigate property ownership as well. Yeah, basically, a 100% tax rate above a certain amount, And we could even make it like a pretty high number. We could even say, let's say you can make $10 million, and there's the various tax brackets in between 0 and 10 million, and you'll be going up through them. And by the time you get to $10 million, you should have 100% tax. So anything above anything above that 10 million, you should just not be able to keep, basically. 100% taxes. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. And I think it would make society a lot better. But people don't like the idea of having the government take their money. And listen, I kind of completely understand. The Super 1991 is a good example of slumlord mentality. True. I've never seen it, so I'm signing off on your statement, having not ever seen the thing that you're talking about. Oh, goodness. Those of you who are just coming in, thanks for hanging out. We appreciate you coming in. We've been streaming for about 2 hours now, kind of talking about this and that and the other. And we do have a couple more politics segments. My voice is really tired, though, so I'm thinking about taking a quick little 5-minute break, resting my voice, going to the bathroom, all that jazz. How am I doing on water? I am almost at 7 p.m. Almost at 7 p.m. on supposed to be drinking all this water. I don't know if taxing the rich will ever come back into style, but one can dream. Again, I'm pretty sure that what we're looking down the barrel of is major economic collapse. So is money even gonna mean anything soon? Just finished grazing on some pepperoncinis. Yes, delicious. Yeah, I don't know if taxing the rich is gonna come back in style, because I feel like the economy is going to collapse. And then I don't know if there's ever going to be that kind of economy. How big is that jug? This is a liter, I think. No, wait. A liter is 1,000 milliliters, right? So yeah, it's not quite 2 liters. I think that total this is wait. I think this has 2,500 milliliters or something like that. There's measurements on the side, and the highest the measurement goes to is 1,500 milliliters. But I know that there's more space, so I think it's 2,500 milliliters, or maybe just 2,000 milliliters. I guess it's 64 ounces essentially. Yeah, it's a big jug of water. I'm supposed to be drinking at least one of these per day. So delicious. Yeah, apparently it's a half a gallon. So stay hydrated, babes. Keep things rolling. Okay, let me find something to keep you occupied. IDK, I feel like the USA will collapse in a similar fashion to the USSR, which will be very bad for black and brown people. Honestly, I hope the Union splits before such a collapse. How? It's on Amazon. Just look up, like, glass water bottle on Amazon. I don't know. I bought it, like, a year ago. But yeah, I must, any collapse, I'm not saying is going to be a good thing. I don't know what the Union splits before such a collapse looks like, because there are, like, a lot of queer people and brown people in the South, and, a lot of us think, oh, the really radical red states, if they just weren't part of it, it would be fine. But I have to drink slightly less than the average person and take fluid pills. Interesting. Yeah, I need a lot of water. Okay. I'm getting ready to go take a quick little break. And then when I come back, we're going to talk more about some politics stuff. Politics! Fuck yeah! And I'm going to expect you guys to behave while I'm gone. Okay? Behave yourselves. And I will leave you with Papa. I'm going to leave you with Papa. Are you ready to be left with Papa?
We are fewer than 30.
Papa, wait. Wait for me, Papa. Okay. I'm sure he's gonna play some annoying music or something to ruin it. Behave yourselves. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Be good.
30 days out from the Iowa Republican caucuses, the rhetoric is ramping up and in some cases getting uglier. The themes and choices of his words this weekend are significant. The former president again repeating language that echoes white supremacists. Trump saying that illegal immigration is poisoning the blood of our country. And on Sunday, that migrants are invading from foreign prisons and mental institutions. Suffice to say, he offered no proof for any of that. Let's dig deeper. About 15 years before he systematically murdered millions of people, Hitler put that phrase in Mein Kampf, quote,
I don't know if these people remember, like, Trump quite literally said, Mexicans are rapists. And then everyone was like, oh my God, finally, a breath of fresh air. If that's how you knock it out of the park, there's not that many different avenues you can go to like, level up the racism. Yeah, of course he's going to start being like, oh yeah, immigrants are poisonous. But he had to go poetic with it. It was wild to see CNN post Mein Kampf.
Great civilizations died out as a result of contamination of the blood, calling it a poison to the national bloodstream and infecting public life. Hitler was warning about German blood being, as he described it, poisoned by Jews. At his prior event in New Hampshire last month, Trump also used the word vermin to describe his political rivals. Comments that were condemned by President Biden as well as language you heard in Nazi Germany.
Yeah, he called who vermin, by the way? Leftists, which I swear to God, Biden and Trump agree on that for the record.
Now, is that an accurate claim? Hitler's Nazi party came to power partly by pounding the idea that the German government was being overrun by Marxists, something that Trump has suggested now is happening in the United States for years.
Ah, God damn it, dude. It's hard not to love Trump. He got CNN to defend Marxists, bro. CNN immediately going back to their old ways of being like, oh yeah, we hate Donald Trump. I can't believe he's attacking Marxists. Have you guys seen this? Just like the Nazis did. Like, there is something to be said about the negative polarization against Donald Trump that ends up creating so many liberal allies. It's crazy. Immediately, they're like, well, famously, the Nazis hated the Marxists, just like Donald Trump. It's like they hate Donald Trump so much they love Marxists now. They love accurately telling the history. When the do you ever hear from any liberal institution the famous poem of first they came for the communists? When have you ever heard that from liberal outlets? Never. They rarely ever talk about it. If anything, they literally will even make it seem like Nazis were also socialists, National Socialists. I've argued before that if Trump were handling Gaza in the exact same way Biden does, the liberals would be standing up for Palestinian human rights. Oh, 100%. I said that as well. People ask me, like, what do you think would be different about Trump versus Biden's handling of Gaza? It would be 100% identical, while simultaneously, instead of saying, oh, we got to stop the genocide, or not genocide, they would never say genocide. Joe Biden says, oh, you got to stop killing civilians, Jack. What the Trump would be like, it's awesome that you're killing every monstrous barbarian Palestinian dog. However, the one thing that would be different would be the reception of that message. When Biden says, oh yeah, we got to do restraint, Jack. Come on now. Oh, well, whoa, don't kill so many babies, Jack. When Biden says that, liberal media goes, yeah, that's so fair and so balanced, so wonderful. Thank you, sir, for being the voice in the room. He's doing everything he can to stop the carnage. If Trump said that, and he does say shit like that all the time, there's no better evidence of that than like literally the immigration border policies and stuff. When Trump says that, CNN has to be like, that's bad and that's wrong. So yes, there would be objectively more Democrats in the streets, more liberals in general, that immediately reacted to Israel's genocidal actions in Gaza. It would not be better overall. I'm not saying that at all. Because ultimately, reacting to the government and like protest against the government doesn't actually change all that much. The orange man bad people were right. Yeah, of course they were. I've said this about liberals and how they changed their minds about Black Lives Matter. This is not made up. Back in 2014, 2015, 2016, when I was at the Young Turks, I would write articles about and I would cut videos about Black Lives Matter and how I supported it and how you should too. You know who didn't support it at the time? Under the Obungler administration? Liberals. Liberals did not support BLM until Trump negatively polarized them to defend Black Lives Matter. Liberals, including the Pod Johns as a famous ass example. The Pod Johns, Pod Save America, was not pro-BLM. They were anti-BLM. Even into the Trump administration, they were critical of BLM until Donald Trump shit on Colin Kaepernick and shit on Black Lives Matter. Then everybody turned and were like, BLM is great. Throw up the black fist. Obama himself said that the protesters in Ferguson were, I forget the word he used, but he used a racialized term. Either it was uppity or something along those lines. I remember him saying and using like a white supremacist. He said thugs. Yeah, it was thugs. It wasn't uppity. Sorry. That's what he said about the Ferguson protesters. Yeah, uppity was Ruth Bader Ginsburg on Kaepernick. Yep, sorry. I mixed and matched my liberal icons. Ruth Bader Ginsburg called Colin Kaepernick uppity. My point is, liberals don't have any coherent worldview in many instances.
Back with another 64 ounces of water. Split in the sense that there's either territories or a north and south. I don't think there'd be a new civil war, but like a civil Cold War. It would be quite interesting. I'm not sure what's going to happen exactly. Of course, no one can predict exactly what's going to happen with, like... I am guessing that there's going to be some kind of structural collapse, but who the fuck knows what that's going to look like specifically? Like, I don't know. Anyway. Why are we screaming dicks in the YouTube chat, okay? Listen. That's not the right place to do it. We do dicks on the website chat. Okay? Get it straight. Or don't. Get it very gay instead, actually. Anyways, so, okay, yeah, we did have a couple more politics things. I need to get ready. Okay. Recently, we discussed the bill that was going on in Ohio. It was a double whammy. They were like, we are going to go after trans youth being able to access healthcare and just any sports participation for trans women, including in college, including in stuff like darts, just all of it. No trans women allowed. And they did... Okay, so there was a proponents only meeting. We covered that. That meant the people who were supporting the anti-trans bill. There were very few of them. Then we had the opponents meeting where there were like a ton of people showed up, like almost 500 people or maybe more than 500 people. And they were speaking against this anti-trans bill. Then it ended up passing with amendments in the Senate. And then I think they moved it back to the House, and then it passed in the House, and then it went to the governor. And we were all like, okay, well, Governor DeWine is a Republican, but there was some question as to whether he was going to sign this thing, right? So the first video I did about this was like, yeah, they're only letting the people who want the anti-trans bill to pass talk about it. And then we did cover the opponents' meeting, but I haven't uploaded that to the channel because I ended up being kind of doomerish, I guess, in that video, and it did not end up passing actually. Like, when it went to the governor, it passed the Senate, it passed the House. Obviously, that's not good, but the governor did stop it, okay? And so you would think, wow, that's a cause for celebration, right? There are some stipulations to that, and in order to get a really nice rounded idea and make sure that we understand all of the implications of this, we're going to be, at the very minimum, we're going to look at his veto statement, and we might also look at some other analysis as well. Actually, there was a recently closed tab. Not that one. That one. Okay. There's the veto message, and then there's his remarks that he gave during the press conference, so we might look at both of those. Okay. His veto message for the veto of House Bill 68. So he's disapproving this bill, setting forth the reasons here. I have sought out people on all sides of this issue to hear their concerns. Ultimately, I believe this is about protecting human life. Many parents have told me that their child would be dead today if they had not received the treatment they received from an Ohio children's hospital. I've also been told by those that are now grown adults that but for this care, they would have taken their lives when they were teenagers. Okay, so yeah, basically, it's good that he's on the side of these young people. You know, they have had this tough journey. Parents are making decisions about the most precious thing in their life, their child, and none of us should underestimate the gravity and the difficulty of those decisions. So essentially, he's coming down on, this is a parents' rights issue. The parents should be able to decide. Parents deserve to be able to dictate this medical care for their children, and it's not right for the state to come in. Yeah, he goes on saying, this would be saying that the state, the government, knows what is medically best for a child rather than the two people who love the child most, the parents. And while there are rare times in the law and other circumstances where the state overrules the medical decisions made by parents, I can think of no example where this is done not only against the decision of the parents, but also against the medical judgment of the treating physician and the treating team of medical experts. So even if the Senate committee members were not particularly moved by all of the medical professionals who came to say, hey, you know, you should really stop doing this anti-trans stuff. Maybe you should let kids transition because they need to be able to do that. The governor actually listened, apparently. He also goes on saying, I have listened to the concerns the legislature raised that led to this bill. While I have reached a different conclusion on whether to sign this bill, I do share a number of these concerns and agree that action is necessary regarding a number of issues raised. This is where it becomes not a good thing that he's landed where he is. It's good that this particular bill, this blanket ban, didn't pass because obviously a blanket ban is bad. But just like in the conversation about sex work, for example, there's a difference between legalization and decriminalization. If you go decriminalization, that's hands off. That's let the market do its thing, whatever. Legalization means, okay, a sex worker needs to register with the state and she can only do things that the state says she can. It has to be within these particular limitations. Like, it is not preferable. And this is kind of a similar thing that we've been seeing. The informed consent model is kind of the hands-off, that's the decriminalization version of trans healthcare. And then there's the legalization version of trans healthcare, which is the state is going to dictate certain things about when it's okay to do it. So he's basically saying he's directing the administration and the relevant agencies to begin working on administrative rules that will go through this full process to establish important protections. He adamantly agrees with the General Assembly that no surgery of this kind should ever be performed on those under the age of 18. I am directing our agencies to draft rules to ban this practice in Ohio. So obviously, that's unfortunate because if surgery is greenlit for those under 18, it's because they have an imminent need for it. Generally speaking, it's not done on those under the age of 18. So if it is being done, it's because it's extremely medically necessary. And of course, I'm 100% certain that any rules that they draft against surgery on minors are going to create exceptions for doing it on healthy intersex babies. And I'm going to bring it up every single time. Decriminalized weed is not preferable to legal weed, though, because decriminalized is still a misdemeanor. If it is still a crime, then it's not been decriminalized. I guess if decriminalized could mean, like, less criminalized, but decriminalized weed would be, like, totally, like, hands off. Although, it's like, should that be regulated by someone? I don't know. Anyway, I share with the legislature their concerns that there is no comprehensive data regarding persons who receive this care, nor independent analysis of any such data. I am today directing our agencies to immediately draft rules to require reporting to the relevant agencies and to report this data to the General Assembly and the public every 6 months. We will do this not only when patients are minors, but also when the patients are adults. So this paragraph right here should scream at you. This is the problem right here. Sharing, okay, so we need to collect data. He says there's no comprehensive data, so we're going to collect the data basically by collecting the private medical data of every single trans person in the state. Like a state-run registry of trans people is what we're looking at right here. Which it has been talked about in other contexts. A registry of trans people has been talked about in several states in different contexts. This is the first time that it's being done, like seeming as though it's going to be a good thing for trans people. You know, oh, we just need to collect information about these people who transition. What is it? Like, what information do you want? Do you want satisfaction surveys? Like, I don't see how this is not a dramatic violation of privacy rights when it comes to HIPAA. As long as the data doesn't have personal identifiers and is just numbers. But even that is still, if you sit there and take the time, you can find out a lot of individual information, even if you technically are not supposed to have it. A misdemeanor is not a crime. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what are you what do you mean? If you can be charged for doing something wrong, then it is a crime. Even if it's a really mild crime. I feel like I'm having a stroke. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I was under the impression that for something to not be a crime, for it to be decriminalized, means that there's like, yeah, Jonathan Majors was found guilty of misdemeanors. Those are crimes. Yeah, like, I feel like I'm losing my mind right now. Oh, God. This also goes on to say, I also share with the legislature's concerns about clinics that may pop up and try to sell patients inadequate or even ideological treatments. Please explain what that means. This is a concern shared by people I spoke with who had both positive experiences and negative experiences with their own treatments. Those who had positive experiences all noted that they received significant counseling, therapy, and consultation as a family before discussing even the possibility of other treatments. Those who had negative experiences report that they did not receive adequate counseling. Okay, so what we're doing here is setting up, like, yeah, I'm directing our agencies to draft rules that establish restrictions that prevent pop-up clinics or fly-by-night operations and provide important protections for Ohio children and their families and for adults. Like, he's basically saying the only time that kids can transition with positive outcomes is when you force them to do a bunch of therapy first before you let them transition. Those who had negative experiences report that they did not receive adequate counseling. Like, you should make it available to people, but you should not make it, like, required. And I think that that's going to be another crux point of this, that people, you know, folks are so excited that it didn't trash all healthcare, but if you put in more gatekeeping than what there currently is, that's still a bad thing. That's still a bad way to go. We're going from a situation where this thing is not, like, regulated because it doesn't need to be. It's healthcare. Like, it's being done with informed consent with the parents, and everything is going fine, and they are going to still impose state directives on that process, which is still, it just still is not a desirable outcome. You don't want Republicans deciding who gets to transition or on what timeline they get to transition. Ohio decriminalized weed years before they legalized it, but I still got charged with possession in that time. In the legal sense of the word, it is not the equivalent of everyone can freely engage in it. Decriminalized is not the same as removing all penalties for it. So what, yeah, when people say decriminalized, they just mean it's less criminalized than it was before, but it is still a crime. Okay, so that's just, I guess defund doesn't mean take away all of their money, it just means reduce their money. Okay, well, cool. I think that that's a fucking stupid way to talk about it, but that's not your fault. It's not the fault of anybody in chat. I just think that it's dumb. Anyway, can we get to 69 likes today? We're just 10 away, according to my screen. Water. Drink more water. It's dumb, and then there's libertarians who cloud the waters by claiming decrim means free market rules. Yeah. Running a society is complicated, you guys. But to be clear, and this is the thing that bothers me so much about Governor DeWine and all this, is like, how many trans people are really out there saying we need there to be more gatekeeping and restrictions? Versus how many people are like, yeah, no, the way that we've been doing this is just fine. But they don't ever ask the people who are actually affected by this what we want. It's like with the reproductive health stuff, they don't go and bring in a panel of women to tell them, you know, how they should do this, and then they actually follow their advice or anything. They don't ever actually take into account what the people that you're creating laws specifically to impose on us, specifically, and only us, and yet you're not asking our opinion about what is actually useful to us, how the process benefited or didn't benefit some folks. Like, I guess, of the people he talked to, and he only talked to, I think he talked mostly to parents and their children, so for the most part, families who are like, yeah, we received significant consultation as a family and counseling together before discussing even the possibility of other treatments. Like, yeah, how many of these adjusted adults? And like, again, and so here's another question that I have. This positive outcome, positive experiences and negative experiences, who is reporting this? Are you just talking about the parents? So the parents who felt that there was a positive experience with their kid's transition are the ones who forced their kid to do extensive counseling and therapy first. Parents who report negative experiences did not do adequate, quote unquote, adequate counseling, which is not to say that they didn't do any counseling, but that it was not, quote unquote, adequate. So yeah, like who, again, it's that question about the rapid onset gender dysphoria. Like, who are you even listening to? When you're sitting here compiling data about us, when you're listening to our experiences, who are you talking to? It sounds like mostly you're talking to the parents in this instance. Yeah, of course. Why would they ask us? They don't see us as people. It's not as exciting as everybody is making it seem. It's like marginally good, but also they still plan to restrict our rights and access by inserting government into the prospect at all. Like, get out of it. Get out of it completely. Leave us alone. We are doing just fine without you. It's the same with the bathroom issue, with all of this shit. Like, trans people have just been existing, and we've been working with the medical system, and there haven't been any particular legal requirements for anything, and everything has been going fine until y'all start making a big deal out of us and, like, deciding, oh, we have so many concerns. Like, please suck my dick and get off of my, like, just get off of my timeline. Like, get out of my face. The devil is in the fine print on this one. Yeah. Don't celebrate this. If you message him, because the governor's page is open, you can message him or his office. You know, you can say, hey, thanks for, you know, vetoing this particular bill, but also what the fuck are you doing with these other restrictions? Just leave us alone. Just get out of it. It's very frustrating to me that, you know, people were like celebrating it. And here's another thing that's frustrating to me. People are celebrating this because the headlines were going around, ooh, he vetoed it. All I had to do was literally read his own statement instead of reading like frankly, sometimes like a person like Erin Reed will post, and all she did initially was post that it got vetoed, and then other people started criticizing the details of this thing, and then Erin Reed started tweeting about how, you know, there were problematic aspects to this. Like, yeah, if you just read the headline, or if you just read the first couple paragraphs of this, you do have to actually look deeply in and go, oh, shit, this is still a bad thing. ADHD is wild. I left the room to quickly grab a trash bag, saw that my avocado pits were ready for potting, so I went to find soil for that, and I also noticed that my apple tree from a seed still needed to be treated for aphids, so I threw some control stuff in the pot, watered it, then tossed an empty seed pot where something didn't grow, went back to get soil for the avocados, watered like 8 plants, fed the chickens, posted a few pictures of my plants to the Discord, yet still don't have a fresh trash bag. Yeah, I hope that you can get hold of some Ritalin or some Adderall or something. You know, it's a trip. I didn't take Ritalin today, and it's not like that bad, but I can definitely feel that I didn't take it. And I don't plan on taking it. So, yeah. Delicious. Trying to function with ADHD is great. I wish that I could do some kind of... I almost wish that I could do some kind of dual crochet thing. But I should just learn how to knit. Sometimes I wake up too late in the day for Ritalin. Do you have an extended release Ritalin? Mine, if I take it at like 8, it's completely not helping me at all by like 4 in the afternoon. So, oh yeah, the extended release. You gotta also be careful. You are not supposed to take Ritalin at the same time as alcohol. So if you take a Ritalin in the morning, especially if it's extended release, then you can't drink in the evening. Max! Happy New Year! Yes! Welcome in. I wish I could combine Ritalin and Adderall. I don't really like Adderall that much. I like Ritalin, though. It's good shit. Personally, I'm a Vyvanse person. It costs $300 per month. I can't afford Vyvanse. It was fine when I was on it, but I like Ritalin the best so far. Anyway. That happened on an episode of IASIP. They called it Ritalin. True. Part of the reason why I didn't take a Ritalin this morning is because I wanted to leave open the possibility for drinking today. And yeah, my Vyvanse is all right, but I just can't within 6 hours of taking it. Yeah, if I take my Ritalin in the morning and I don't take it the second time, then I feel like I can pretty much just drink and it's fine. Vyvanse has a generic now. Okay, well that's good. I'm on Zoloft, slightly tranquilized, but better than my anxiety and depression eating me alive. Whatever's working for you. It might be working now and then might not work later. It's all good. Goodness gracious. If you haven't yet hit the like button, do that for me, please, babes, okay? We have basically one more, like, serious topic, and then, honestly, we might have a shorter one today. I'm not totally sure. My voice has just been sore since we started. There's a gnat in my face. What was this? Ohio veto, not good news. We do have some funny news about Iowa. Iowa and Ohio are our two news stories today. Come back, chat. Where'd you go? Should I get bubbly tonight? I mean, listen, if there's any night of the year for you to get some bubbly, it's on this night, okay? Lots of drinkers on New Year's. Everybody drive careful today. Even if you don't drink, I recommend crashing wherever you're at this evening because this is the #1 drunk driving night of the year. Yes. Just stay in. Hey, Lord Byron. Thank you for lurking today and for your $30 dono. They said, may you meet your other goals in the new year as well. Yes. Thank you. And now I can flex. Now I'm permitted to do a flex. I have some leftover Martinellis from Christmas. Ooh. Yes. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. 30... plus... How much was it already? It was 73.24. 103.24 is where we have landed now. 103.24. Success. Okay, that means that I can remove my shirt. Are you streaming till next year? No. It's like 3 p.m. right now where I live, and I'm not gonna stay on for longer than like another hour. Most dangerous time to drive is midnight to 4 in the morning on New Year's. Yeah, that does not surprise me even a little bit. I got rum and blunts, alright. Cannabis helped a lot for a long time, but it has not been enough lately. Yeah. I've heard of people with ADHD using cannabis to manage their symptoms of ADHD, which I think is really interesting. I'm not really sure how exactly it helps, but I have heard that people are doing that. I mean, maybe it's either that or it's just an easy way for them to get a dopamine fix, and that maybe that... Does that, like, prevent you from seeking dopamine elsewise, which kind of helps you, like, stay focused? It can slow the thoughts down. Okay. I could see that being really beneficial. Like, as someone with ADHD, I can see that being like, oh my god, can we slow down, please? I would love to slow down. Okay. I live next door to a 7-Eleven, Domino's, weed, and liquor store. You're living the dream, dude. Is that your Sea of Thieves cosplay? What do you mean? I'm just wearing a tank top. It's just... I'm just really lazy and I wear tank tops because I'm lazy. I don't know, what do you want from me? I've decided that wearing tank tops is more comfortable than wearing t-shirts. And it's much easier to show off my arms. Yeah. Can we do this? Can we do one of these? I feel like this doesn't quite show up very well. Yeah. There's some happening up there. Yeah, the arms. Not very big this direction. Bigger this direction. Yep. Enjoy. I've heard other autistic people talk about using cannabis for the same reason. Endogenous cannabinoids, and a person could potentially become deficient. Wait. Okay, I need to go back and read back. Avi says, Cannabis helps my ADHD and autism, helps with my overload, but also there's some suggestion that people with autism are deficient in cannabinoids because we all have endogenous cannabinoids and a person could potentially become deficient. Interesting. Do you need to have cannabinoids? Do you you naturally produce some or something and some folks are just deficient and then you need them externally? I've never heard about this. Anyway, Rabbit thought, grow bush beans in your plot because they self-preserve on the land and can be harvested through the whole year. Interesting. My partner suggested lima beans. I don't know what bush beans are. Not Bush's beans, but bush beans. That's difficult. That's why we have the endocannabinoid receptor system in our body, because humans naturally make our own. That's fascinating. Weed helps me focus on a single thing, and I've built a habit of doing something as soon as I think of it. Super helpful in these dark times for mood too. So yeah, the doing something as soon as you think of it is a thing that Ritalin lets me do. Like that I can just notice, like, oh, this thing on the floor needs to be picked up, and then I'll just fucking do it. Fava beans in a nice Chianti. I mean, yeah, I guess it makes sense that we have cannabinoid receptors for a reason. I just didn't ever really think about it. Can't take THC with lithium. Oh, well, lithium is a drug that I wouldn't want to be on anyway. Because it's pretty intense and doesn't sound like it would be fun. Bush beans. I'm guessing that they're called bush beans because they grow lower to the ground. And so the pole beans grow on poles. Bush beans don't need any kind of support to stay upright. Okay, cool. It's why it can be hard to give it up if you've become dependent because your brain doesn't produce its own cannabinoids anymore, so you quit and it takes sometimes up to a month or longer for the THC to begin producing on its own in the brain again. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, your body has become so used to you supplementing it that it doesn't need to make it as much. Anywho. Most beans have a bush and a vine version. So I could do bush lima beans. That would be fun. I now actually go pee when I have to pee instead of holding it for hours, thanks to my Vyvanse. Yeah. It's crazy. The stuff that you'll sit there and be like, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. As counterintuitive as it sounds, because ADHD medicine is supposed to kill your appetite, I remember that I need to eat, and then I get up and do it. Yeah, lithium, it's supposed to be good for bipolar disorder, but it's like, if you get misdiagnosed with bipolar disorder and then they put you on fucking lithium, like, that's bad. One of my friends has been told by a doctor that she will 100%, she is 100% gonna die before her husband if neither of them has an accident or something, because she was put on like a pretty high dose of lithium for like 6 years when she was a teenager, even though she did not have bipolar disorder. And it like she is just guaranteed gonna die before her husband. Anywho, it's interesting. Like, I know that THC and like any other chemicals that are in cannabis, like, they haven't been really studied in the United States. We see some studies from like other places, but because the United States categorizes it as like a Schedule 1 drug, we don't do research on its medical efficacy very much, so it's hard to get that info. Which of her vital organs did the lithium attack? I don't know. I can't remember. It was a very lengthy conversation about a lot of different things. I just happened to remember that specific fact, that's like, she was damaged by it. I'm assuming it was her liver, like, that's what I would guess. But I don't know. Yes, women having emotions is bipolar. Clickety clack, clickety clack, 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 clack. Okay, we have one more thing to talk about today. Stop wasting time talking about whatever random bullshit. Yeah, research on cannabis is kind of all over the place, and even where research is done, it's often not the best quality research yet still, right? I can't wait to live in a state where it's legal so that I can try it. My girlfriend from 19 was on lithium. I could go to Missouri anytime and try it. Like I live in Kansas. I can very easily go somewhere and try it. My girlfriend from 19 was on lithium for 9 years as a teenager and young adult. She actually has bipolar, borderline personality and not bipolar. Random BS is fun, I know. Andy's, nobody says that you can't have doctors in an anarchist society. Holy fucking shit. I hope that you were joking, because that's really annoying. Oh, God. Okay, the Iowa Don't Say Gay bill. Iowa Don't Say Gay bill. That's the last thing we have that's serious that we need to talk about. There's lots of promising stuff on research into cannabis, but still not there yet with tons of inconclusive answers. More so, small studies of various quality pointing to potential things to look out for in bigger studies. Yeah. I propose a Don't Say Iowa bill. True. It smells like shit every time I drive through Iowa. Like, they've recently manured some of their fields every time I drive through Iowa. Just without fail. You can't, though. Who's going to certify them? If there's no governing bodies to certify the doctors, it's a gamble. Yeah, I mean, you can have doctors. We have had doctors before we had governing bodies that were certifying the doctors. Yeah, you can. There's, there's like, doctors can make and maintain their own governing bodies. Yeah, like, you don't need a government. Like, a lot of stuff that you assume that you need a government for, you don't. I feel like I might be the first to die because I'd want to pick up a helpless baby animal and then the mother bear just mauls me. True. You gotta be careful with those snuggly little... I know that they have really cute round ears, but you can't. You can't grab them. I spent 3 years cataloging patient symptoms with reactions to kinds of cannabis and finding correlations between terpenes versus other cannabinols, and learned a lot. We really need to study it fully. It would be nice. It would be really great if we could study more of it and learn, what are the effects of it? I was just thinking about this recently, like, do we actually know anything about the effects of cannabinoids on, like, fetuses? People say, oh, you should quit smoking when you're pregnant, obviously, whether that's cigarettes or anything else. But, like, do we actually know? Like, there's a possibility that my mom might have smoked while she was pregnant with me. Like, it's pretty likely. And, that was 30 years ago, so who knows? It would obviously probably would have been less strong cannabis, as I understand that cannabis has gotten dramatically stronger over time. I did help a lady get off of morphine after 10 years with high-dose CBD and low-dose THC. Nice. Very good stuff. Okay, Iowa. Iowa was trying to pass a book ban, and we may have covered it already on the stream. I don't know. There's so many of them. It's impossible to know whether I've covered it or not. Iowa's Don't Say Gay law has apparently been blocked in court. Now, it may mean that it continues to get appealed upwards, but for the time being, it has been blocked in court. And I'm so glad that this ruling has come down the way that it's come down. I am not sure how you would appeal this. I'm not sure how you would argue against this, because essentially the law is written, it doesn't say don't say gay. As usual, when this is the sneaky way that they convince these very silly, super smart conservative voters out there to go argue with you. Bill doesn't even say doesn't even say gay in it. How can you say it's got anything to do with you? Like, no, it does say stuff about sexual orientation though. It doesn't say don't say gay. It says don't talk about sexual orientation, right? And the implication there, because straight people don't think they have a sexual orientation, is like, in effect, this should just affect gay people, you know? But this judge accurately identified that the law as written bans instruction on, quote, sexual orientation or gender identity, but it doesn't define those terms, means that that does also include straight and cisgender people. The judge has realized that straight is also a sexuality, is how Aaron puts it. So, on its face, the law forbids any programs, promotion, or instruction recognizing that anyone is male or female or in any relationship of any sort, gay or straight. The statute is therefore content neutral, but so wildly overbroad that every school district and elementary school teacher in the state has likely been violating it since the day the school year started. Just so much mad appreciation for this. It's they have to make the law explicitly stating you can't talk about gay people, but that's easy to strike down. Yeah, I didn't say gay. I just described it in great detail. Like, the idea here is, you know, it's a catch-22 for the conservatives who want to write these bills, because yeah, judge really just went, this doesn't fully make sense. Yeah, they wanted it to be so broad that they couldn't be called out for targeting gay people specifically. But it's so broad that, yeah, it will impact literally any discussion of any gender, cisgender or trans, and any sexual orientation or any relationship. Bears. Okay, is there anything here? The other part of this was that certain books were being banned. The law is incredibly broad and has resulted in the removal of hundreds of books from school libraries, including, among others, nonfiction history books, classic works of fiction, Pulitzer Prize-winning contemporary novels, books that regularly appear on advanced placement exams, and even books designed to help students avoid being victimized by sexual assault. Like, yeah, basically going on to say that this is unlikely to satisfy the First Amendment under any standard of scrutiny, and thus may not be enforced while the case is pending. So the case is going to continue to be pending. They're going to continue to talk about it and chop it up. But ultimately, yeah, this one, it's so overbroad that the book banning part and the don't say gay part have been blocked. According to these interpretations, schools apparently could not, for example, offer boys or girls basketball teams for sixth graders, as the existence of such teams would amount to a program or promotion relating to gender identity. Oh no. A teacher could not instruct students to refer to the teacher as Mr. Blank or Ms. Blank, as this would be instruction that relates to the teacher's gender identity, which doesn't matter what your gender is. It also appears to be impermissible for teachers to identify historical figures or literary characters as being either male or female, or use masculine or feminine pronouns to refer to them, as any such discussion would, again, amount to promotion or instruction that relates to the person's gender identity. Oh my god. Stated differently, opponents of this bill have sometimes described it as a don't say gay or don't say trans bill. Based on the plain language of the statute, this is not an accurate description. It is actually a don't say anything bill. I don't know who the judge is, but they are on fire. One Iowa legislator did make public statements to the effect that the law is only intended to prohibit schools from making books with gay or trans characters available to students in kindergarten through sixth grade. I'm trying to see if there's anything else here that I really want to mention. The state defendant's promise to only enforce the law in a discriminatory fashion does not solve the constitutional problem. Oh, man. I'll be glad when LGBT stuff doesn't matter to these morons. Like, how long are they going to keep it up? What's dumb is that when society inevitably collapses and the economy goes to hell, you're going to be out there trying to make it. You're going to be out there trying to figure out how to source up some water because there's going to be global water shortages within the next 30 years. And you're going to be like running into people who are still not only homophobic, but will say shit to you about your facial piercings. Like, dude, society has collapsed. Can you calm down? Y'all, why are cisheads so goddamn stupid? Why are these people such mind-numbing, drooling, anti-thought, unaware intellectual voids? My empathy has reached its limit with these fucking brain-dead idiots because I cannot imagine being dumber than fucking dirt. Listen, it's not that they're... I mean... They're not dumb. I don't think they're dumb. I think that they're malicious, and maybe they don't think things through all the way. I mean, I think that probably what they were banking on... They were just banking on this appealing up through a conservative judge. They're like, oh, I know 100% that the Supreme Court is going to rule against trans people. So, you know, we just have to get lucky and have this be a Trump-appointed judge or something who will allow us to apply the law in a discriminatory fashion. Because they know that if they call out gay and trans people specifically, that the law will easily get knocked down for being unconstitutional because of, like, equal protection under the law, right? They know that. So they just had to make it sweeping and hope that like wink nudge, that the teachers and the other enforcers would understand that this was only meant to apply to gay and trans people and stuff, you know? It's like they were trying to be smart about it and it just didn't turn out the way that they were hoping to. Gotta drink more water. Oh, I'm talking too much. Talking too much. If gender neutral sports is the outcome, then maybe that's the only... Yeah, maybe that's a good result. I have been recently making the statement that women's sports should be abolished because we should just have desegregated sports, but... In their minds, straight is so normal, they don't even think it's related to gender or sexuality. I mean, this is the thing. When they say we don't want pronouns in schools, they mean they don't want trans people in schools. When they say, like, we don't want this talk of sexuality and gender in schools, you know, sometimes they are also campaigning against broad sex education, you know, in, like, the sense that it's good to teach 7-year-olds what to call their body parts because then they can identify when they're being sexually abused, right? They are sometimes against that as well. But for the most part, it's just that they equate, the concept of a sexuality, like gender and sexual minorities. I'm not sure they even want schools, period. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about that before. That is one of the underlying motivations, I believe, that a lot of the time it's not criminally charged. These don't say gay bills and stuff. It just opens up the school district to lawsuits and liability. So it's kind of an underhanded way of underfunding the schools, of defunding the schools. If it's hard to literally defund the schools, what you can do is open them up to constant lawsuits, and then they have to hemorrhage out money from the school system that way. I really don't think that under the misogyny and ableism and stuff is stupidity. I think that chalking it up to stupidity is cutting these people too much slack. I think that they're evil. And I think that we should be willing to say, you know, you're just evil and not, not give it, like, I feel like if you say that someone is stupid, then they are less responsible for their actions. Does that make any sense? I'm not even concerned about the ableism in this. Like, sure, it's not great to call people stupid or what have you, but, you know, I genuinely do think that saying that it's just that they're stupid kind of lets them off the hook for the fact that they're evil. They're not stupid. They're calculated. They're doing this on purpose. They're trying to harm us on purpose. They want to hurt us. They're not hurting us by accident. Only proper nouns. I don't think it releases them from responsibility because they're being dumb on purpose, but they're definitely malicious. I think that there's a difference between being stupid and being dumb on purpose, you know? Like, acting like an idiot for the purpose of achieving some goal. It's like the theory that Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord who's just using drunken master style, you know? That he's doing all this stupid shit, but it's actually quite purposeful. That's how I view the Republican Party. Agreed, but I don't think they're evil. They're opportunistic parasites. They've been trying to undermine democracy and hoard resources and destroy our planet in the meantime and kill a bunch of us constantly. Like, I think that's evil. I think that if you make it your public policy position that, oh, it's fine for us to spread COVID unmitigated because only disabled and old people will die, I think you're evil. You know? I think if you're passing laws to restrict access to trans people's right to healthcare, then you're evil. You're doing something harming people. Like, purposeful ignorance is a whole role to play. I only use amateur nouns, okay? Yeah, Eric is agreeing with me. They know what they're doing. They might at times lack foresight or show ignorance, but yeah, this is more straight up bad morals and evil behavior than lack of intelligence. I think that it feels good to call conservatives stupid because it makes us feel like on some level like we're better than them, maybe. Or that it's maybe we want to ascribe their behavior to incompetence, which is, I think, again, that's where like the quintessential ableist accusation kind of comes in, is like, well, you're incompetent. You're not competent enough to make your own decisions. You're not competent enough to carry about your own life. You know, you need someone else to step in because you're not competent. That's, like, I think fundamentally where it's at. If you can't call them stupid, wrong, or evil, then what do you call them? Spatial anomalies? I think they're evil. Like, I think that it's on purpose. I don't like moralizations of good and evil. I think it just serves to create in-groups and out-groups, which is used to justify dehumanizing people. I don't think that you're wrong that that language can be used that way. You know, like, Marjorie Taylor Greene calls us evil. And, like, the language does serve to create that dichotomous split, right? Like, but I think that if you are doing a bunch of evil shit all the time, if you're doing a bunch of harmful shit that's going to destroy the planet and kill a lot of people, like, for decades to come, like, I think that it's fair to make a moral judgment on that. And I understand other people not feeling as comfortable. Yeah, I don't know. I just refer to them as harmful, deleterious, and parasitic. Yeah, they are harmful. Calling them evil is definitely an increase in the emotionality of the rhetoric, and I will absolutely grant that. The trick is not putting too much weight on what it means to be evil. It's not essentialist or even special. Yeah, I didn't really feel the urge to start using the word evil until this past year, because for some reason I was just like, yeah, it just felt imprecise before. And now it feels much more precise. It feels like that is the correct thing. It feels like we need to call it something more intense than what we've been calling it. Because at this point, you know, we've just been treating these things all like different opinions and all this, but, you know, it's like people trying to destroy the world. People trying to destroy human lives. Successfully destroying human lives, you know? Like, how can you look at what's happening in Palestine and not call that shit evil? You know what I mean? What's up, Igor? Happy New Year! So close to the new year. Hey, we're so close to 69 likes, too. Anything but monsters and demons is my rule for what to call them, mostly because it takes the human out of it. Yeah. I don't think calling someone evil is, on its own necessarily dehumanizing. But I do think calling them monsters would be. Calling them demons are cool. Demons are good guys. We're not gonna give them a bad name by associating them. Clicky clacky. Clicky clacky. We're so close to 69 likes. Or has it already happened and I just can't see it because my screen takes a minute to update? There it is. On the other hand, calling them demons does let you potentially prepare to blast E1M1. True! E1M1 is such a fun listen. Calling them monsters is insulting to monsters. It's insulting to monsters and the monster fuckers out there. Listen. Monsters, monster fuckers, we're cheering you all on. I'm just really looking forward to the new year. I'm looking forward to shifting my focus on stuff, and I've come up with some like tricks for my editing, which is going to enable me to spend less time editing but still manage to get all like the editing done. So I'm hoping that this will give me plenty of time to shift focus on doing other things, and I have my little hobbies and stuff that I want to get. Don't compare these trash men to Monster High dolls, true. Isn't it ironic that Trump told us to go to hell? It's going to be so funny watching him melt down repeatedly over the next year. I will give that. It's going to be funny watching him melt down repeatedly over the next year. Dr. Frankenstein was the villain. His creation was just misunderstood. I know. I agree with you. Dr. Frankenstein was the villain. And the monster was just a guy. Bless the people who do their own footage and editing, because it's hard to stay passionate while doing both. Listen, it was just not getting done until Adobe gave me text editing abilities. And now I'm like, oh my god, it's so much faster. Like, I was not able to get it done before. Pretty sure we've been in hell for about 80 years. Oh wow, you mean since Israel came into existence? That was a joke. They're completely unrelated. Correlation does not equal causation, okay? I won't rest easy until Trump is guaranteed to not be president. I won't rest easy after that either. Like, the neoliberals, like, the next 4 years of Biden is going to be even more drilling for oil, even more deregulation, even more children in cages. Like, I'm not going to rest easy for a long time. The difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is knowing Frankenstein is not the monster. Wisdom is knowing Frankenstein is the monster. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. I don't think it won't be any better, but I think we'd have earned at least one good night of sleep. True. Yeah. I will drink to that. Should we do, wait. It's going to be a Thursday. It's always a Thursday, isn't it? Is there any point to streaming on the actual election night? Or, like, I don't know. I know some other streamers will do a live election results thing, but the way that it's been going the last few years, it seems like we don't usually have a solid idea until pretty late at night. No, it's Tuesday. Okay, well, I guess if we streamed on the Wednesday like we usually do, then we would be like, okay, that's the result by then. We would basically know for sure. Because a lot of the time the election gets called at like 2 a.m. And I don't usually stay up for it. Frankenstein is the monster, but the monster is also a monster, but a created one who wasn't born that way. Have an unrelated good vibes stream. Yeah, the stream before the election, that Sunday is going to be a chill vibes, head empty stream, and then Wednesday will be a hard-hitting, here's what we do next kind of stream. Maybe, are we going to celebrate? If Biden gets elected, are we going to celebrate that? I don't get home till midnight EST anyway, yeah. Gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Let's focus on the fun part. It's gonna be fun. I'm still gonna need to winterize a bunch of stuff at that point. I'm gonna be, Jesus, I'm gonna be so close to fucking moving. I'm gonna be having to start pack up around in November probably next year. This year, Jesus. It's not next year yet. Passive aggressively, quote, celebrate. Yeah. We'll celebrate, quote unquote, all the progress that we've made in the first 4 years. 4 more years. 4 more years of what exactly? I don't know. It's not been very good. I'm looking forward to having so much cool, fun stuff to talk about with you guys this year. I'm going to be sharing my hobbies. You can join the Discord and share your hobbies with all you guys. You can collaborate on projects if you want to. I will celebrate anything. You found your keys, you stepped in poop, you had an idea. That's a good mindset to have. Find every opportunity possible to celebrate. What is this one even called? Malarkey versus Sleepy Joe. Hobbies are pretty fucking hype, TBH. Yeah. I made for my partner a Korok for Christmas, and I need to get some pictures of it so that I can post them on Patreon. I'll post them for free on Patreon, probably. Like, a lot of my crochet stuff, I'll probably post initially behind the paywall, and then it'll become free after a few days, because that's one of the areas where I'm trying to post more. Yeah, maybe I'll post most of my homestead and gardening updates on the Patreon. I'll be celebrating my cheese pizza getting here. Yeah, I think we're going to order out tonight. I think that was our plan, was to order out something tonight. If we don't, I have a dinner plan. I was going to make dinner last night, and my partner was like, I'm hungry. And I was like, okay, well, I wasn't going to make dinner for like 2 hours. So we ended up ordering food. And so I could make the chorizo, what was it? It was chorizo and something else risotto. Oh, chorizo and green pepper risotto. 72 likes. 72 likes. The Discord is public. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't, I can post my stuff in the Discord. It doesn't matter. Update, just finished sewing the small tarot/altar cloth I started a month ago. Congratulations. Starting projects, for me at least, is much easier than finishing projects. I ordered pizza yesterday. Today I'm making cheese for my broccoli. I recently did a kind of cheesy broccoli and cauliflower kind of curry-flavored corn bake. Or not corn, a curry-flavored one-tray bake. Cheesy broccoli, guacamole, broccoli, cauliflower, and it was delicious. My friends literally forgot to follow up with the information on the event I was invited to before it sold out, so I'm baking with my cat instead. Listen, the pandemic right now is worse than it has been at 90% of the rest of the time that the pandemic has been happening. Like, it's almost as bad as it has ever been, right? So you shouldn't be going anywhere tonight. Broccoli guacamole. True, that would be delicious. One of my favorite things about living in Chicago is access to better chorizo than most big chains sell. I've just been trying different things. I'm trying so many different foods, and chorizo is on the app that I'm using a lot. It's frequently called for, and it's not that expensive. You can get either pork or beef chorizo, and it's not crazy expensive as far as meat goes. Excuse me. Starting projects is the hard part for me, but once I start, I can't stop till it's done. I need some of your people around to help me finish projects. Like, I'm really pretty decent at starting a project, and then I get to a certain place in the, like, moment. When it gets close to finishing the project, honestly, I start to go, no, I don't want to be doing this anymore. And then I just really lose my attention. I'm not far from Chicago. Maybe sometime I'll make the trip for some good chorizo. Everyone just came back from their mass spreader events over Christmas. I mean, everybody got sick over Thanksgiving, and then a second round over Christmas. Like, it could be COVID both times, or it could be flu or RSV. There's multiple things going around now. And then, yeah, everybody just went to Christmas 1 week ago. So that now is the perfect time for you to be asymptomatic and spread it hardcore. That might be the ADHD thing when it comes to projects. Yeah, I mean, I just don't, I'm not getting as much dopamine out of it now as when I first started. I'm the juggernaut. I'm slow to get moving, but become an unstoppable force once in motion. You know, you're welcome to come live on the commune. Yeah, it's not stimulating anymore, so it's disinteresting. Like, I would really love to finish this. I have this, like, shawl thing, and you can see it's cute. It's got these little skull faces. It's fucking adorable, but I'm just running out of momentum to finish it. And I still need to do, like, several more skeins of it, too, so it's gonna take a while to finish. It's so cute, right? It's adorable, and I just need to finish it. Good luck getting me going, I know. I'll just be like, listen, Agamotto, you just stand here and watch me start the project. And then once it's started, you can pick it up and keep it going. There will be a brief period in the middle where we're both working on it, and then I'll have to just let you finish. Thanks. Yeah, I enjoy doing crochet. It's my fun little hobby. My little pastime. How I spend my passing time. Oh god, I think that might actually be it for... Hold on, don't say gay. Iowa, don't say gay. Canceled. Okay, good, we've got some stream notes for today. Don't need this anymore, don't need this anymore, don't need this anymore. Bush beans. I'm so excited to garden. Man, I'm just so heckin' excited. It's gonna be the coolest fucking thing in the world. And I'll show you pictures of my plants. And solicit your advice on shit that I can do. Wait, what? You did what for a friend? And ran their blog for a year until they just stopped responding? What? My grandmother used to crochet all the time. We lined up the backs of the pews at the church with blankets she made at her funeral. Oh, wow. That's really sweet. And sad. Sag. So much Sages. We have to end... If we're going to end the stream soon, which we might, we should find some good positive topics to talk about. Can we get to 75 likes, though? I just saw a bunch of people come in. Have you ever crocheted lace? I have. I use a AA sized hook. I don't know what that means because I don't use the letters. So far, the smallest hook that I have used and successfully actually made a thing. So it's not infrequent that I'll use the 1.5 millimeter hook. I use that one pretty regularly. This takes this. And then recently, I did do something a little bit smaller, and that was with, I think it was this one. It was the 1.25 millimeter hook. This was I believe that this is the smallest hook that I've used to create something. And it was, I made the nose on the Korok with this, because I wanted it to be a little smaller than the rest of him. And one time I did create like a choker necklace with the 1.5 millimeter hook, and that was, I ended up giving it to someone, which kind of sucks. I should just make another one. That would be really cute. Do I not have any of this black? I guess I don't have any of the black. I need to get more. Wait, I didn't see the Korok. Yeah, it's on my partner's desk right now. I'm not going to go invade his space while I'm in the middle of my show. I need to post it. I need to post pictures like on Patreon or on Discord or something. Smaller still. Mine works with sewing thread. So if I were to do sewing thread, this is not even the smallest one that I have. The smallest one that I have is a 0.5, and that would work with sewing thread. Where is it? It's so small that it regularly pokes a hole into the bag that it's being kept in. Here, let me pull up. I want to pull up this to see if you can actually even see anything. Can you adjust? I don't even know if you can see how tiny the hook is, because it doesn't want to focus. Focus. Like, you can not really see it. This is my 0.5, and this is actually so small that I think it needs to be used with something smaller than sewing thread, or like a really, really, really fine sewing thread. Yeah. I handed this to one of my friends who was in their 40s and does crochet, and he wasn't wearing his glasses, and he was like, I don't believe you that there's a hook on the end of that. Which I thought was pretty amusing. I'm cooking black-eyed peas, cornbread, cabbage, and jowl bacon for my grandma as a New Year's meal tomorrow. That is positive. My first studio porn scene is going to release soon. That is good news. I filled the chapel with paintings from my mom at her funeral, except one of the paintings was a really ugly one I did as a teen, and I cringed the whole funeral. Oh. Did they think that it was your mom's? Oh, no. Need a magnifying glass for that size. I know, yeah. This genuinely, like, if you were using this, you would kind of want to be careful, because I think that you could stab yourself with it. Like, I think that you could hurt yourself with this, genuinely. It got mixed in accidentally, because she had a lot of my old crap art saved. As moms do. Moms be like that. Anyway. I've been meaning to finish binding a book journal I started like 8 to 9 years ago. I think I'm going to finally finish it. Avi, listen, if the energy that you're getting from my show is I'm going to go ahead and finish these projects that I started many years ago, absolutely use my streams for that energy. Please, please do. I promise. You can finish the things. You can do it. Make sure there's nothing else that I wanted to discuss today. Do a little peruse, a little browse on the surfing the webs. I follow this, it's called At the Last Farm on Twitter, and they're also on Blue Sky. Very good to follow them, to see like the stuff that they're doing on their land. Delicious. Oh, goodness. I don't think there's a whole lot else today. Your streams give me so much get stuff done energy. I always clean while watching, and it's the best background video. Yes, listen, that means so much to me. I don't know why, but that means so much more than, like, some of the other feedback that I get. It's like, listen, when I listen to you, I really want to get shit done. I'm like, good. Get shit done. I hope that doesn't mean that my presence is not particularly restful. I guess that does mean that my presence is not particularly restful. There are people who fall asleep to my videos and my streams. I've had people tell me that before. They're like, yo, I fall asleep to the sound of your voice. And I'm like, creepy, but okay. Definitely helps me with motivating me to work out. Do it. Do it more. Do it harder. Yeah, just side politics for funds. I just do the politics to pay the bills. I actually want to talk about other stuff. But the politics, you know, that's when we get the most views. I'm really curious how my second channel does. By the way, if you want to help, you can follow the channel. Hold on. Okay. I need to create... Okay, does that work? Okay, so if you type in !2, it'll give you a link to the second channel. And I have not posted anything on there yet, but that's going to be where I post. And I'm curious how it goes, if this is going to be able to be competitive with my main political channel, because I'm just going to post silly shit and homesteading stuff and that kind of stuff on this channel. You bring a hype, get stuff done energy, but in a tranquil way. I'll take that. I'll take that compliment. Thanks, babe. Sometimes doing things is more restorative than not doing things. Yeah, it feels good to do things, and it feels good to have things be done. Like a based yoga teacher. Listen. A based yoga teacher, sports cat dad. It's like, the title is getting longer. I'll take that. I purchased a replacement copy of a childhood book. Came in early today. Yes, that's awesome. Oh, speaking of childhood books, any of you who didn't know that there's another book in the inheritance cycle, go, go, go. DBH, I think your streams hit the right combo of to the point and then relatable tangents. Listen, we're striking a balance. We have to talk about serious stuff, get all hardcore into it for a minute, and then, you know, I need to recover. We'll meander and talk about whatever. Can we get to 75 likes today? We're very close. So very close. There's a whole bunch of people who just came in. We're at the point in the stream where I've already talked about everything serious that I plan on talking about. So, what does everybody think about Vash's fashion arc, by the way? I didn't realize that this was becoming like a long-standing thing. But he's going for it. He's gonna like, it's gonna be a regular thing where he's posting pictures of what he's wearing. Yeah, Vash is talking about fashion a lot right now. And people are discussing it on the subreddit. Y'all don't watch people. It's fine. Oh man, I am gonna need to eat after this. I made a point to eat before the show, but now I'm hungry again. Vash is not an egg. Listen, anyone follow the menswear guy on Twitter? I guess not. Oh, wait. Do you mean the guy who dresses like he lives in the Civil War? Excuse me, because I think I just saw him pop up again. Okay, I don't know who you're talking about. The menswear guy on Twitter? I don't know who that is. Oh my god, I'm so burpy. Why? Torture, why? I will egg anyone at any time. Egg. Vosh is giving me gender euphoria. Maybe some smuggy. He's just having a fun time, okay? He's having a fun time. Like, look. He's like, I tried tucking a shirt in. It looks like it's not quite tucked in all the way in the front. And, you know, if you're holding your hands in front of it, that kind of makes it hard to see how the look looks. But, listen, he's trying some new things. I couldn't remember the name of this cat for the longest time. Her name is Pigeon. I don't know why. I just couldn't remember it. Dye workwear? I told him with perseverance and gumption he could eventually get it tucked. Yeah. Listen, tucking is hard, okay? And it's painful. Menswear writer. Derek Guy. Okay. Yeah, I haven't followed him. I'll go ahead and follow him. Neat. When was the last time any of you went to a mall? When was the last time you went to a mall? I haven't been... When did I last go to a mall? The Legends Shopping Center in Kansas City kind of counts as a mall. And I think that was the thing that I have most recently been to. As far as malls go. But I can't remember when that was. It was a while ago. Xmas Eve, I went to a mall. Tucking isn't painful for me after a few years HRT. The orbs shrank and got less sensitive, so they slide right up. Good to know. Recommend him for anyone interested in men's fashion and like tailoring in general. And also he's based. Nice. Malls are hell and I refuse to visit before my death. The theater I go to see movies at is a mall, but it has a rooftop parking, so I can skip the mall and just go straight into the theater. Nice. If mini malls don't count, 5 years ago, I think? 4 days ago? I remember that one of the first few COVID outbreaks in America was in my local mall. Oh my god, no. I went yesterday. I wanted a certain cologne scent from Bath & Body Works, but they didn't have it, so I bought nothing and left. There you go. We have like 3 malls, 2 are dying, but 1 is semi-alive. I really love it when people show the footage from like dead and abandoned malls. Very, very fun stuff. It was 20 years ago. Nice. The further west you get out in Kansas, the fewer malls there are. You know, like there's the mall in Topeka, and then there's like several malls in the Johnson County, Kansas City area. I'm guessing that there's got to be a mall in Wichita, but I don't know, because that's... like, I don't go to Wichita very much. But just fewer and fewer malls, the further away from society you get. I've been to many plazas. Oh yeah, there's also plazas. Does a downtown count as like a plaza? Like if you have a downtown with a bunch of businesses like down one big street, is that considered a plaza? My city is 90% suburbs and strip malls. Wichita is a cool word. How much money do you want to bet that the word Wichita belongs to some Native American nation? Probably does belong to some Native American group. Okay, I'm really hungry. So I gotta go find something for me to eat. And are they all on the same property? No, it's, well, I don't know. A plaza, like the plaza downtown Kansas City, Missouri, is like a bunch of different businesses. And I don't think it's all the same property. There was one outdoor mall that was a complete failure 30 years ago. They tore it down and rebuilt it. Doing great now. Other malls in the area are all dead. Yeah, the Legends Shopping Center in Kansas City is a outdoor mall. It's pretty cool. Yeah, hi, really hungry. I'm Mama. Okay, whatever, Mama. Thanks. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. Oh my God, Happy New Year, everybody. I hope it's a beautiful one. We're wrapping it up with some good vibes. I hope that you can carry those vibes into tomorrow and even further forward. As far as I know, we are going to be streaming on Wednesday as per usual. So I will see you all next year. Okay? Have fun and behave, and don't catch COVID.